You sound better.
All right.
Let's try it again. Try it again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna re-record the fucking intro a third time. So
There's
here's the
a chart.
so here's the thing. Last time we played, you guys went, well, finished your little excursion into the island of Yonder, one of the main gathering hubs of the Order of Siren. It didn't quite go as planned, with a lot of your crew members bravely sacrificing themselves in order to allow you an escape.
I'm gonna cry.
Also,
Don't
there's
do
a
it
bit of
again.
feedback coming in from your end, Cass, I believe.
I know. It's because my whole system is trying to load Roll20 right now. Sorry, I can't click on anything.
Okay. What's it called? But yes, over at least 30 of your crew members laid down their lives in front lines in order to aid in your assist. And two of your major allies, Bulldog and Lorius, well, they decided to stay behind to give you an opening to return to the ship of the Ultras, being supposedly failed in battle by Commander Gaius of the Order of Siren. With their sacrifice, however, comes your escape and a slight victory, as in you did acquire the gear piece, the missing piece of the Antikythera device. With it, you will be allowed, or more easily be able to, access the Forgotten Sea, which is the sea at the borders of the continent of Thylea, where presumably the Tower of Sidon, Praxis, remains. Whether you decide to go there right away after acquiring this gear piece or not, it's up to you. So, we continue from there, as I will take you guys back to the other map. Now, important thing to point out. You guys selected, I believe, through the Antikythera device prior to starting your departure. You were intending on going to the Scorpion Island, I believe.
Yes.
Is that correct?
I have a question.
Yeah, Island 7.
We did have a long rest, right? Or
We're all
so
all
you
crying
hope. No, yeah, you did. You did have a long rest.
we're crying. We're all crying.
Okay.
We all went to sleep crying, guys. It's okay. Except Bouxfhades, you didn't know who these two guys were.
I'm too manly to cry.
You all did. You didn't cry because you don't know these men.
All right.
They killed themselves for us.
So
Hey, I knew the
This guy.
ones that were on the ship. I just didn't know the one dude. Okay, so chill. I said
You didn't know
we'll
the goat.
avenge them. Look at the
He
chat,
was
bro.
my goat.
all right. Important
He was
thing
my
to
goat,
note.
not yours.
That you now have, for the two people that you lost, you now have two more people on board. Well, you technically lost more than just the people, but you get what I'm trying to say. Chandras, priest of Lutheria, and a strange demonic entity that acts as his bodyguard, are now on top of the, well, are now on the ship with you guys, in order to, well, in Chandras' own words, witness your adventure firsthand, and use that knowledge to intercede on your behalf with Lutheria, the Lady of Dreams, when and if the time comes where you will talk to her. But with that out of the way, you guys, well, let me get rid of that little chart there. You guys went to bed basically tuckered out, crying, were awoken by the loud, shall we say, discovery of Chandras on board the ship, alongside, thanks to the constant patrols of your guards. After explaining the situation, everybody went back to bed and are now resting.
Fine.
Now,
Yeah.
before we move on to what will be the trip to the island, basically, do any of you do anything of note in the coming days?
Russian. That's it. And training with Pythor if that's possible, because I need to do that still.
I would not show my face to anyone. pretty much the whole
Just,
time.
just the
I'm
egg
gonna
and
be
the.
down where the dragon is, having like conversations with it and saying lots and lots and lots and lots of prayers for Glorious and Bilbug and all of the soldiers that we lost, and pretty much like just kicking herself because she without a doubt feels responsible for everything because she forgot the intellect of the idiots that she travels with, who she failed to give better instructions to. And it feels like that people lost their lives because she was a failed leader. So she's not going to show her face to anybody, and she will lock the door and not let anybody in either.
Well, just for a refresher,
Unless I obviously have a way to teleport him, then I obviously can't stop him.
I mean, hey, just for a refresher, the quarters that you guys have on the ship, that isn't the captain's quarters, that does have like a more sort of personalized interior, are more akin to sort of well, almost short hallway length, like rooms with a hammock or bed on one side and a place to store your belongings on the other. Privacy, though possible, is up to the rest of your team whether they decide to respect it. You guys will, over the course of this journey to the next island over, you would be summoned to the deck of the ship by, Kyra. She doesn't personally come to fetch you guys, but rather, a group of soldiers, the sailors that still remain on the ship, would, call for your presence in the upper deck. Do you guys answer the call?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't
make
know
my way
why,
up
but
there.
I straight spaced out. Can you like give me the cliff notes on what you just said about the what happened? Sorry, I was way spaced out.
What I just
I'm
said
still.
was that over the course of one of the days of travel that gets you to get to the other island, Kyra would have summoned all of you guys, would have called for you to the upper deck of the ship.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Didn't do this personally, but she sent a couple of sailors out to fetch you guys. If you guys accept the call, that is.
I also accept the call. I apologize. I don't know what happened. Like I was looking at the screen and I just like blank minded.
I'll go up, but I ran out of tears basically. I cried enough, I guess.
Okay.
Also, probably that the oracle just kicked me out, probably for crying. Or maybe I don't know, depending what she actually thinks about it.
So that's Derek Bouxfhades. Who else answers the call?
I'll make my way up there.
Nick,
To
close the door at least and left the room.
Porunga, Drakgar, Exandri, do you guys answer the call or no?
I do not.
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, there we go. We can hear you.
Yeah, I said I was
So-
gonna make my way up there.
Okay.
And damn it, he didn't do it.
Alright.
Close the door.
Yep. There you go. Good shot. Good job. Good job. job.
Okay.
Xander, just
I
look
totally
at
forgot about that.
Okay.
Never mind. Never mind.
In
We
that
learned our
case-
lesson.
And Drakgar does not. Oh no, never mind. He said AFK for a second. Got a multitask. Okay. Well, those of you who do answer the call, will be. Well, perhaps welcome is not the correct expression here. You will be, shall we say, received by the presence of Kyra and Pythor at the upper deck of the ship. Almost no soldiers, not even the ones that usually man the ballistas, are at the moment at the, anywhere close to the upper deck of the ship. They more or less have, have been told to stand aside for the time being. Kyra sees those of you that did show themselves, and kinda seems to do like this look over to Pythor, almost like, uh, I'll take it from here type of thing. She approaches you guys and says, "Are the rest of you not coming, or?"
Oh no.
I tell her that I didn't really have time to check on anyone. I was trying to gather my gear.
I
You-
see. Go ahead, Dirk.
Yeah, I'm still wiping off the crust in my eyes because I was crying for too much.
Wait. Did only 2 people go up top?
No, Porunga and
Oh
Dirk
no,
also.
Porunga, because you're in there sulking and sad. No, and then Drakgar's being a rock, not moving.
So
Knew it.
it's,
His mom was a
so
rock.
it's
I knew it.
Porunga, Derek, and Bouxfhades. What's it called? Kyra looks at you three and says, "Well, we would rather have everybody here present, but it seems like that's not going to be the case. My brother and I wanted to, well, address what just happened the other day with you guys. It is.
What can I ask her? They have to talk about this now.
It's important, I believe, that we touch upon these subjects while they're fresh in everyone's minds. I take it some may take more time to process them than others, but I believe this is probably the best time to say this. What happened back at the island of Yonder? Well, this is kind of hard to say, but was a result that I suppose we should have prepared for. Sorry, there's still feedback coming in from your end, Cass. How should I put this? I suppose a part of what happened is down to how, shall we say, imperative the renewal of the Oath of Peace, at least how we made it sound. Of course, it is important that the Oath of Peace is maintained, but, well, my brother and I have decided that, or at the very least have thought about how we presented the issue to you, and we would like to reiterate that we didn't want you guys to push yourselves to such extreme right away. Much like how my sister made it seem back at Mitros. Well, making sure one is ready to face any challenges is quite important. And, well, suffice to say that recent events prove that we all weren't exactly ready for this. Now, whether you believe that responsibility of that course of action lies in all of you or in us for not relaying that sentiment sooner, the fact of the matter is that, well, we lost a lot of people that day. And even though that may be the case, we must honor their sacrifice and continue moving forward. Because they believed in the cause that we fight for. They believed that you guys would be able to, well, make the world see a better future. And, well, I suppose what I'm trying to say is, and as you're saying this, Pythor kinda walks up and says, "What my sister's trying to say is that you may mourn or fallen. You may regret decisions that were taken that day. But this shouldn't be a point where you, well, see this as a defeat, as the end of the journey. But rather, the reason to continue. I only wish the rest of you would have been here to listen to this. But I suppose it's fine enough that at least some of you know this and pass along the message. In fact, I should probably pass along this message as well. Otherwise, well, I must use my strength of will somewhere. Kyra looks at you guys almost as if trying to gauge a reaction, a response.
I look at both of them and I tell them that it was our decision to go to the island before we knew we were ready. It was our fault that all those men died, but we will not, at least, I don't know about the rest of the party, but I will not stop until we avenge every single one of their deaths.
Kyra looks over at you, Derek, and Porunga.
I agree with
For
both of
me,
these. I won't stop either.
Derek would be like, we got our asses kicked, going in there not prepared for anything at all. Even though we thought we would do something, because we were the heroes and we've done so much. We were on, one could say, like a victory streak of accomplishing everything, thinking we were not gonna stop. And then as soon as the wall was placed upon us, we crashed and burned. Of course, I'm not gonna give up. I was part of this fight long, long ago. Why would I give up now that I'm back in it? Even though it might not be for the exact same purposes anymore. I'm here to actually do something. So even if we run into the wall again, or God forbid, something like this happens again, as long as I'm alive, I'm gonna still keep going. And I hope your two spawns could probably hear it from the deck, I hope. Pythor.
Pythor kinda crosses his arms and says, "This may sound strange coming from me, but I believe by now you've all ventured far enough that you should know that it isn't just about fighting anymore. It's about making sure that those close to you are safe. Those close to you trust you, and you trust them. That day was a test to that bond, I suppose, that hopefully has grown among all of you. But I suppose, in a sense, you are correct. My children do need to hear this as well." He kind of turns over to Kyra, who just kind of nods along, and she sort of like excuses herself and begins to head down to the lower decks. While she's doing this, Pythor looks over at you guys and says, "There is also one more thing. That priest, that Lutherian priest that you all brought along, I don't like him. But I suppose that much is obvious."
He wears blue. I don't like him either. But he is blue, same thing.
I don't trust him one bit.
Right. It seems, however, Xandri vouches for the man, even if it's only in a very small way. I don't want this man to try anything that may compromise this mission, shall we say. It is up to you whether he will actually, well, travel with you in your journeys from here on out. And if he does, do not let him out of your sight for a moment.
My knife will always be to his back.
Well,
I will my magic.
let's not lower
Straight for
ourselves
his
to
head.
their level just to get one over on them.
I've been dying to do it.
Right, stay your blade for the time being. However, if he does intend to make an attempt on your lives, or dare I say, on the lives of the rest of the crew, well, I will leave it up to your judgment to decide his fate. As he says this, very quickly, we cut down to Kyra arriving at the Thane's quarters, where Exandri is at. There's not really exactly like a, like a full-on door, so to speak, covering your segment, your quarters, Exandri. More so, it's kind of like a panel that can be moved, but she doesn't. Instead, she knocks on the, well, I guess you could call it a door frame that surrounds the panel, and says, Exandri? Are you there? You're muted, Cass.
My bad, forgot I was muted. She will say, "What is it, Kyra?"
Oof. No auntie, huh? I suppose things really are
Yeah.
bad. Um. Well, we call for you. Your well, my brother and I wanted to say some things to you and your friends.
They're not my friends.
Well, that may be so, but they are your team. People that you should put your trust in.
So you want me to put my trust in someone who constantly brags about the Dragonlords? Someone who's supposed to be a frontline for us, but when a time counts, he cowers in a corner. And put my trust in someone who willingly let one of the bad guys take permanent residence in his mind. Um, let's see. I don't really know if I trust any of them.
Well, when you accentuate the negative traits of someone, it does paint a lot of people in a negative light. But, well, right now, I suppose things can look very negative considering what happened. But, well, like I was saying to the rest of your team, things, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, things were bad.
Bad. Bad is being polite. I don't think you understand this, Auntie, but since Mateus has left the party, the ignorance of our group is that of a homeless child running amok in the slum. Nobody seems to have any common decency when it comes to social situations. Nobody seems to be able to do anything but physically hurt people. It seems that's the only thing they're good of. So not only do I have to be the healer, the brains, the one who always has to talk, like I can't depend on anybody in our group right now. And quite frankly, I'd rather just be alone so I could just mentally prepare myself for always being the full part of the team. Because the only thing this team seems to be good at is physically hurting people.
Right. And the enemy also hurt us. And I can understand your point. I also don't like hurting people. And However, even the gods weren't born perfect. And
Oh,
and your allies, they need that guidance in their life. They come from various, shall we
but
say, less than
oh,
fortunate
Kyra,
backgrounds.
I totally know that they lack so many skills to live in a social situation. But what everybody else doesn't seem to understand is I cannot split myself into four people and hold four children's hands while we try to navigate the world. I can only give so much instruction and then hope that some inkling of a brain cell grasps the situation at hand and properly functions its way through it instead of, constantly getting us into more shit the farther we get in.
Kyra kind of stays quiet for a bit, and then she says, "You know, I also used to be the problem child of the family. That's why Pythor and Valus had to take care of me. Before we came down to Thylea, things weren't all sunshine and rainbows. I caused a lot of problems. And even after, people caused a lot of problems in my name, as you are certainly aware of. Even now, I'm exactly not quite sure how to feel about the fact that Estor Calander lives rent-free inside your friend's head. Quite literally.
Oh, same.
No.
Except for, oddly enough, that's one of my least concerns with my party members.
She kind of chuckles
At
for a
least
bit.
we know he has Esther Arcalander in his head. At least we know if he falls unconscious, Esther Arcalander could possibly take over residence of his body. At least we know the dangers that come with Porunga. We cannot even guess the bullshit that comes out of Derek's mouth that's going to get us into trouble. We can't even fathom the fact that this Oracle, Versi, thinks it is a smart idea to push this newborn baby man into the world with no sense of direction of how to talk, who literally cannot get over the dragon. He is so hung up on them and wanting to avenge them that every time we get into a situation where we speak, he literally preaches for them. And he preaches to the wrong people too. He literally preached about the Dragonlords to a race the Dragonlords enslaved, and this race hates them with every fiber of their being. And he thought it was a good idea to be like, you work for me now. I'm a Dragon Lord, last one remaining. Who, who, who has a negative IQ that massive? I mean, like, you were part of the problem when you enslaved them, so you're still going to enslave them and piss them off even more. Like, what?
Yes. Derek is a strange
Like,
choice.
honestly, listen. I've asked him almost every single day of our journey. I've asked him politely. I've asked him rudely. I've threatened him. I've, tried to guide him on ditching the Dragon Lords, but he can't. He has such a big heart on for them, and he thinks that they're good people and that he wants to avenge them. To the point to where, did you know on that island that they actually were confused if we were the Dragon Lords reincarnated because Pumo can't shut up. I mean, Derek can't shut up about them long enough for like people to not think we're the Dragon Lords. And then, I thought I could trust my brother, but apparently, when it comes down to like an actual fight, if he doesn't actually have a weapon in his hand, he becomes a coward and would literally just hightail and run and ditch us. Did you know that? because I didn't know that. I didn't know that my brother is only as good as the weapon in his hand. He's supposed to be like this person who like will protect us, but when I was going to go hide all of these belongings, like the compass, I just watched him cowering in a corner for like ever while people were literally dying, literally being slaughtered and spit ice on by a dragon while he hid in a corner.
She kind of
Like, how can we trust somebody who is afraid of actually being in the front line for us? Like that's literally what he's good at.
you hear like the sound of like something like sliding, I guess, on the other side of the doorframe, as if she has kind of like just began sliding down the wall and like sitting down on the floor.
Okay, I
Well,
was
she
like, what is going on? Did someone just kill my aunt?
no, no, like she like you hear the exasperated sort of like sigh of her on the other side. She kind of like seems to slide down the wall and just sit down on the floor. She says, "I know in moments like this, there's a lot going through your mind, but well,
You say that, but there's really not a lot going through my mind. The whole mission is a fail simply because of me, and I am solely responsible for the deaths of two people who I incorporated into our group to tag along and make a difference in the world. I am solely responsible for their deaths. I am the one who got them to follow us. I am the one who asked them to assist us in times of need. It is my responsibility to take care of the idiots that you guys have put into my party. I understand that. Again, I didn't take care of it well enough, so shit went awry. So still my responsibility. I know my role. I do not like my role. I just have to adjust to adapt and be everywhere at once. It is nobody's fault but my own. Um,
she
and that's pretty much all.
she again does kind of like this exasperated like sigh and says, "In moments like this, I often remember well, all of the stories that people in Thalia write. Stories that inspired me to seek you guys out for this. Stories of heroes, of adventure, of those who rise to the occasion and become the people they need to be when they are needed. And one thing that I have noticed about those stories is that, well, even the most legendary heroes have to start somewhere. Yes, your friends are less than ideal in the way of, well, what a ideal hero would be in people's heads. But that's part of the growth process, I would imagine.
Oh,
Sooner or later, there will come a time where they need to become different people for the occasion.
yeah, that was like 48 hours ago.
Right. What happened last night certainly will be a turning point for many.
Really? Because I honestly don't think it is. I honestly do not think, without a doubt, I'm pretty positive that that wasn't a turning point for literally anybody who was actually traveling with us. Derek's still going to be Derek. We somehow got to figure out how to make my brother not afraid to fight if he doesn't have a weapon in his hand. We still have to deal with the fact that Estor is in Porunga's mind. Did you know that literally the whole reason why shit went awry was because Wizzy told me that he didn't shut a fucking door? Who doesn't shut a door when you're looting? If he were to fall unconscious, literally Esther Arclander could have taken over his body. As a matter of fact, do we even know right now if Porunga is actually Porunga, or is it just Esther trying to be coy with us? Because Wizzy said he fell unconscious, and when he fell unconscious, it was just Porunga in a room with a bunch of the big scary guys with horse hooves, and he doesn't know what happened to Porunga, and he feels bad about it because I told him to watch Porunga because I knew if Porunga fell unconscious, like we'd be in a shit toe like boat up creek without a fucking paddle. Like, do we even know Porunga's Porunga right now? Like, do you know how to check? Because I don't know how to check. I don't have those type of spells. Matea's had those type of spells, but I don't have those type of spells. Like, who? Why? Why on earth did we even let Porunga go there in the first place? Now that I kind of think about it.
At this point, she kind of slides open the little panel to look at you directly.
I'm just like pacing back and forth in the room, and I look pissed off. And like Lizzie's passed out on his back, belly up, because he ate a goat, and he's just full.
Kyra says, "We need to believe. That is what we need now the most."
Yes, believe in the powers of idiots. I totally agree.
No, believe that they can change. Believe that they can become something greater than they are. Believe that all of us can become something greater than we are right now.
At this time, they would really, really have to try because I don't think you understand how much I have to constantly remind them to stop slaughtering people. It's actually really frustrating why they just, every time we run into someone, they just want to slaughter them. They just want to kill them, take their shit, and move on. Like, why? Why? Like, I understand when we have to kill an absolutely necessity or like an actual evil person, but like literally just knocking people out is literally a thing.
She kinda looks at you and says, "Yes, they've made a lot of mistakes, and chances are they will continue to do so. But in my experience, it's better to live with the hope in your heart that things will get better than just wallow in pity and negativity. Because that is what leads people down dark paths. The people that you're currently fighting against, they let themselves be guided by paths, well, where their life wasn't probably the greatest. Where they allowed that sort of negative emotions and negativity to fill their hearts until they believed that the only way forward was to align themselves with entities who care not for their lives. Sidon, Lutheria, I can guarantee you that they do not appreciate the efforts that any of their followers put for them.
Speaking of Sidon and Lutheria, do we even know if Bo is on our side? Because Lizzie totally said he was with the enemies the whole time, that him and Porunga were fighting.
He explained the situation. He was a double agent, I think.
Yeah, you see, like, but do we know? Is he double agenting? Like, do we know? Like, we just don't know.
Versi was looking on you guys most of that time.
Triple agent, man.
What did you say?
Sorry, I was laughing at Pumo's triple agent, man.
She says Versi can corroborate his story. Don't worry, he's to be trusted.
Oh, okay. But here's the thing, though. The person that I trust the least amount on this entire ship is actually Versi.
May I ask why is that?
Why? Why would I trust somebody who would put a group of idiots together to save the world?
As you ask that, as if on cue, you hear Versi's voice come from the front of your room, saying, "Because much like Kyra, I also believe. I may be an oracle. I may be able to predict part of the future to a certain extent. But no vision is 100% accurate.
I would say so, because no offense, Mercy, putting Derek out in the world is the biggest mistake you have ever done.
You believe it a mistake. Whereas
100%.
I believe it was a necessary step in order for the growth of my beloved.
Okay, well, I hate to break it to you. I don't really think he's growing. If anything, I know he even spoke to you. I'm not quite sure what you guys spoke about, but like, we've asked him numerous times to drop the act, and he just doesn't care. He really just doesn't care. Also, he's the most bloodthirsty one out of all of us. He thinks that everybody who wears the color blue should die. That is the most ridiculous thing ever.
She kind of like shakes her head and says, "War twisted the mind of my beloved for multiple years. He, I must admit, is not the same person that he was when I first laid eyes on him."
I would assume, because, no offense, he's a fucking dipshit.
She does kind of has like a double take when you say that. Like, I'm gonna let that slide for now. She's got that sort of like expression. She says, "The reason why I brought you all together was."
Was for my hair to go gray?
Wait, what do you say?
That was just an outside joke for my hair to turn gray.
Was
Already
because
silver.
for as much power as I may have, for as much as my divination gifts can grant me, it is often times where even my own intervention is not enough to steer the courses of some people's lives in the right direction. I brought you all together because I believe amongst all the people in Tylea, you all would be the ones to make a difference, whether that takes long or a short amount of time.
Well, I'm happy you have so much faith in us, because I hate to break it to you, I really don't care if I break the oath and get dragged away to the deepest hells. If Derek does not get over the Dragonlords, I will no longer hold back.
She kind
I don't really care what the outcome is.
She kind of closes her eyes for a little bit, and then says, "I have the hope in my heart that you two will reach an understanding."
Sorry, I'm laughing at the chat. Keep going, sorry.
I mean, she basically just says that. She says, "I have a hope in my heart that you'll reach an understanding," and she just kind of turns around and leaves. Kyra kind of looks at you and says, "Look, though we may have lost a lot of people, it is not just your burden to bear. It is all of us."
No, Auntie Kyra, it is.
No.
Because
Stop. Your auntie.
I'm not being negative.
Your auntie's telling you to stop for a moment.
Aw, do you miss me calling you Auntie Kyra?
I'm conflicted on that still, but for now, listen to me. We are the ones who set you on this path, us and the Oracle. We share as much of this burden as well as you do.
Okay, you know that I will accept. But when it comes to our party's decisions while we were on the island, that is strictly me. I know everybody was an idiot. Although Wizzy does vouch that Bo seemed to do really fucking well. Whatever Bo was doing, Wizzy was confused why he was on the other side, but he was talking about Bo did some really cool shit. So I mean, I'll let that slide for now, as long as you do vouch that Versailles said that he's not a triple agent. But I still don't know if Porunga's Porunga. Still have trust issues with my brother now being our frontline. I don't think I'll trust Derek for a long time unless he can prove it.
Well, let me put it this way. Porunga hasn't tried to cause mass genocide yet, so that probably rules out the situation about him being possessed by Esther. Drakgar,
See, that's the thing, though. I think it would be totally opposite than that.
and when you really think about it, Drakgar is akin to a lost child without a mother who's looking for guidance. And that analogy is a bit more accurate than I would initially have thought, but... And as for Derek, yes, he's an unconventional ally from many people's point of view. But sometimes, the world needs a good comeback story.
A good comeback story. I mean, this is going to be the most negative thing I say today. Honestly, if we even make it to the end of this calendar date to the Peace of Oath, I mean, kudos to us, because unless we are going to brute force our way through it by killing people mercilessly, I don't right now, at this time, see how that will be a possibility unless somebody else with a brain cell can join this party.
Well, as I said before, one can hope, one can have belief.
Yeah, one can hope that I will get somebody to assist me holding a bunch of children's hands. Now, when it comes to an actual fight, well, besides the fact that now I'm really worried about my brother, ditching us if he loses his axe, at least I know everybody can fight. That's about it right now.
Well, I am glad you found at least one positive point. Hold on to that. And soon enough, you'll start seeing more positive points. Now,
I doubt it, but we'll see.
well, now you're starting to find the possible positives here. So, my work is
I'm
done.
just tired of holding everyone's hands. Honestly, I just don't want to. I shouldn't have to babysit grown-ass men.
You're right, you shouldn't. At some point, they will need to learn, and when that time comes. I do hope that you remember that your dear Auntie Kyra told you that it would happen.
There's that auntie word again. I knew it was growing on you.
Let's say it is. And she kind of turns around and leaves you to yourself for the time being. And
Zoom. She leaves fast.
with Kyra and Versi, back to their own business. You guys' journey to through the oceans of the Swirling Gulf continues. As now we have to resolve that one role that I had you guys do last session.
Do we get Wind Waker music?
Give me a moment. I'm finding what's it called? I'm finding
That Wind Waker traveling
a
music.
bit of music. All right, so you guys, this will happen over DM check PMs. Give me a moment. Okay. In that case, hold on. Before we move on, Bouxfhades, take it away.
So I'd like to first go around and gather everybody in the party and bring them into my room where all their stuff is. Does everyone come?
I mean,
Oh
the
no, I
Rock
don't
Man
leave my
is.
group.
I guess just tell.
Oh,
Just tell Wizzy to get your stuff for you.
oh, before my auntie leaves, I will reach to the door, grab her, and be like, "I love you, auntie. Thank you for the time." And then I'll let her go, and I'll slam the window shut.
But I've told you all guys that I wanted to tell you something important while you come to get your stuff. It's not just to grab your stuff.
Okay.
What's
We're
this?
just gonna assume that everyone other than Cass came,
Okay.
I guess. Which I was really hoping she would come because she was the one I wanted to talk to the most. But oh well. So I bring everyone into the room. I show them their pile of stuff, and I basically sit there and I tell them, originally, I told you guys that we grabbed everything we could and we only got 3 instruments. And I told you that intentionally because there was a lot of questions about my loyalty on the island. Well, I wanted to let you know I did actually grab the fourth instrument. I have the lyre. And I could have pocketed it. I could have sold it, given it away, done whatever I did with it. But I didn't because I wanted to give it to you in person and prove that I'm loyal to the party and our cause. And I hand the instrument with much discomfort. I hand the instrument directly to Derek.
Derek can become the Wind Waker now.
I would have given it to
Get that
Cass.
out. This,
I say this out loud. I would have given it to Cass, but she elected not to show up.
Xander.
Who's Cass?
Xander.
Or Xandri.
I think. Might be talking about that bird girl. I think.
Yeah, I would have given it to her, but she elected not to show up. But either way, I wanted you guys to understand with intent that I have our party's best interest at heart.
And then Derek asks the question, "How did you get the fourth instrument?"
Oh, I picked it up in all the chaos, but Porunga forgot that we picked it up, so I just hid the fact from the rest of the party.
So it's Derek has all four instruments. Oh my god! I can feel the power.
I ask
And
that
I'm,
you be responsible with them.
of course, I'll play the best music. That's what they're for, right? That's good.
Regardless,
Like,
if anything goes wrong, I'll just have Drac take them away from you again. And I
yeah,
need you to
like he's been
understand,
doing.
Derek, that out of everyone in the party, it seems that you have the least regard for our success. And I want you to understand that if you become a threat to the party, I will take steps to keep you from becoming a threat to the party and our goal.
Of course, buddy. Don't worry about it. But I'll also say the exact same thing back to you. If you were to become a threat to the party, then I would also have no choice to try to make you not a threat either.
You're more than welcome to try, buddy.
He would
Then it's a
sneeze
deal.
on Derek, and Derek would just drop.
What do you mean? I have all four. I have all four instruments. I am literally like out of thing Sonic with the chaos.
But you only have 2 hands.
Right. Are you gonna play
I got
four
2 feet
instruments with
too.
2
I
hands?
got 2 feet as well. I could be quadruple,
Two
whatever
hooves?
it's called.
Your hooves
Two
can't
hooves. I
even
could play.
grab onto anything.
Regardless, that was my point that I wanted to make. I'm going back up top deck, and y'all can do whatever you want. But please make sure that Cass gets all of her stuff back, or Xandri gets all of her stuff back.
We'll send the brother.
Wizzy was literally carrying all my stuff. Remember, you
Well,
put it all in
whatever.
Wizzy's satchel.
Well, whatever. Yeah. Just make sure that
But I
everyone
do
gets their
have some
thing.
other people's stuff in Wizzy's satchel.
I returned the necklace.
Okay.
Then everyone's got their
Oh yeah,
stuff.
you
So we're
do
all
have my
good.
necklace. That is no, Wizzy. Okay. Pause for a second. By the way, we have both Dragonlord necklaces. We have both of them. Because I forgot. The first thing Wizzy did before we got caught was he pickpocketed my necklace and tucked it under his tongue. So the necklace that Bo picked up was the crown that Bo picked up was actually Derek's
Yours.
because Wizzy
So
had
it was
mine
yours.
already.
I thought I had Drax like the water breathing necklace.
Yeah, you have Drax's necklace, but the first thing Wizzy took was my shit, and he tucked it in his mouth. And then
Oh, okay.
the other one is Derek.
Oh, you're talking about the crown, right?
My
Yeah,
crowd.
the crown. We
My
have
Oh,
both
crowd.
okay, gotcha.
My
Other than
crowd.
that,
Oh my god.
everything else that we did not list was lost.
My
Yeah,
crowd.
which
I
was
finally have it.
literally just the gold and Drax mace and potions and
And
stuff like
potions.
that.
Everybody's gold,
Right.
or wait, not everybody. Pumo's.
I'm the
We're all
only
broke.
person who's gold besides whatever you and Wizzy had.
Eric, Drakgar, and Porunga are now. You're all three broke as.
Yeah, I still have. Did they take my gold?
No, it's
Yes, it took
only
us.
Drac and Pumo
Oh, not
who's
you.
broke. It's
Oh, okay.
Drac and Pumo
Oh yeah,
who's
because he
broke,
didn't
and Drac
get
and
caught.
Pumo lost
Right.
all of their potions.
Yeah.
I
Broke.
was pretend caught.
But no, I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that I am loyal to the group, and I wanted to make sure everyone got their correct equipment back before we moved on to our next part of the journey.
We only lost whatever that weapon was, potions
The mace.
and gold from Drac and Pumo.
Yeah,
All right.
I got my knife.
we can move on.
In that case, now that that we are moving to the next segment here, to resolve that random encounter that you guys rolled last session,
No.
it has been a peaceful couple of days. Well, as peaceful as it can be after recent events. You believe you're roughly one more day away from the your next destination, the Scorpion Island. However, the stillness, the peaceful, shall we say, travel of the sea is interrupted by what those of you in the upper deck would spot in ahead of you. You believe to be some form of panic birds circling around the skies above. Soon enough, the closer your route is taking you, like around this, this scene, shall we say, you come to realize those are not birds. Rather, they appear to be, well, partially birds. They have, however, the heads and torsos of women. You know these to be harpies. And they are not just harpies. They seem to be tossing this creature, this thing among themselves. What you believe to be a sheep or some other form of animal akin to that is then torn to shreds asunder by the harpies as they begin to devour the raw meat of this creature, whatever remains they didn't catch with their mouth, falling onto the sea below, tainting the waters a noticeable red coloration. You do notice that they stop after this. They seem to be flocking around in place, though you believe they might be getting closer to the ship. Do you guys do anything?
I'm still below deck.
Okay. Those of you who might be on the upper deck, do anything.
I would be on the upper deck just because, like I said last encounter, I like to spend my time up above deck.
Okay.
I would ask. Oh, bad.
I would look around and see who else is above deck besides me, other
Uh,
than random NPCs.
I would imagine Porunga is, considering he has taken up the role of captain of the ship.
Of course.
Derek.
I,
Oh,
I would be.
Derek.
I'd
yeah,
be
go
annoyed.
ahead.
You be where, Derek?
I'd be no. I'd be annoying Kyra about the instruments to how to unlock its true power, and then at the same time be trying to get Pythor's attention so he can start training again.
Well, Kyra will just kind of tell you something along the lines of, I mean, I don't know, just use them like you would use any instrument. It should come natural to you. Aren't you, after all, a bard?
But they're special.
Well,
There has
yes.
to be a trick or
I-
two about it. They're yours.
Well, yes, I know that, but well, the trick is just go with the flow of music. I'm not really sure how to explain it. That's just how they work.
It's gotta be something else.
What's it called? So you know, those who are in the upper deck. When you
Um,
notice that the flock of harpies is getting closer, what do you guys do?
I run up toward I guess the helm where Porunga's at, and I ask him what his thoughts are. You know, whether we should, you know, what he thinks about the situation before I make a decision.
I think we should hold like defensive positions and see what they want, or if they're gonna try to do something.
Would I be able to use my background effect at this point, DM?
What is your background effect? Your feature? Background feature? Tell me, what's it called? Very quickly gonna put you, involved against chance figuring odds on the best plan. So what is the plan? What are you trying to figure out here, as per that may involve some degree of odds?
Would it be a better idea to defensively move past them, you know, guns at or weapons at the ready, or directly confront them?
It make me a general insight check.
Oh, 1 second.
I think
My stuff is out of order all of a sudden. 1 second. Okay, there it is. Oh, gross.
Obviously you can't quite tell their, shall we say, their objective from this distance. But I'll say you're knowledgeable enough about how, you know, like harpies tend to work, where you believe that it could be a bit of a tricky interaction, you know, to engage with them. What's it called? They you know, they could attempt something you believe, but you're not sure.
Okay. Then I look at Porunga and I tell him we need to call the rest of the party upstairs and we need to be ready for attack, but we should not directly engage until we see what they do
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, send some people down to alert the others.
and bring them upstairs. And then I guess I casually look over at one of the random boat crew and tell them to fetch Drac and Xandri and well, Derek's already up here, and Wizzy.
Well, they do just that. They will begin to, you know, fetch the rest of your party. What's it called? So, wait, is Drakgar in here? Is Luke in here?
I think he's still AFK, unfortunately. I'm
He said-
messaging him now.
He said, "Sorry, it's taking long." That's what he said.
Oh man.
Oh, well, I'm letting him know we're starting
Before you
an
finish
encounter.
talking with I would say if I were heard everything and told me what the situation, I'd be like, okay. And I said, I will say, let me try this now. I just always wanted to do this. But I would like just play the music, and then
No,
I'll,
why
I'll
would you
wait to
do that? We
summon it.
just said we're gonna be defensive and wait
Exactly. I
and move
said I'll just
past
play the
them.
music. I'm playing the music, so I'll be ready if it's time to summon it. I'm already playing the music.
Well, it
But you
Oh,
will.
One
don't
minute.
you don't think they might see that as a threat though?
It will
yeah, that's
finish
what I'm
summoning
thinking.
it when the minute passes. That's basically how it would work.
Well then, well then, well then I would say, oh, then I would change it and say, okay, if they start looking like they're gonna attack or they make the first move, I will stand behind and proceed to play. Does that
And that's
sound
fine
better?
as long as you do not do anything that they would assume would be aggressive until they are aggressive first.
Yeah, try not to provoke them.
Also, outside of game, Drax said that he can join, but he can't talk. So he hears us. He's just not able to speak. But he will, I guess,
okay,
attack roll if we need it.
okay, I guess. All right, so you guys, well, you would call upon the rest of your crew, whether they join or not. That's up to them. In the meantime, the sailors stand at the ready, and the harpies are roughly well over 100 feet away from your ship. I just put them in the map for ease of reference. However, even at that distance, their voices, melodious as they may be, they do carry quite a long distance, as true to form to their kind. One of them shouts out, "Excuse us, dear sailors. My sisters and I are quite hungry, as you can see. Would you happen to have something you can spare for us? Preferably a meaty creature."
We would love to help you, but unfortunately, we only have enough food for the people on board to the next island. We are also very low on supplies.
Make me a deception check.
Oh
If
my
anything,
gosh,
now
this
you
is
have.
getting deeper.
Can I roll a superiority die on that?
Do
I
it.
don't
Just do it.
believe
Just
you
do it.
have.
Yes,
I
do
don't
it.
believe you have a feature that allows you that.
Persuasion? Oh no, you
No,
said
no.
deception.
Yeah,
My
this
bad.
is
I thought you said
deception.
persuasion.
Because if anything, you have
My bad.
supplies to spare now that there's less crew members on the ship. Uh,
Oh, let's
All
go.
right, nice,
Nice.
perfect.
so you say, yeah, we don't have nothing
Nat
for
20.
you. Sorry, it is being like that sometimes. And
Lidody.
they look at you like, you can't tell their expressions too good from the distance. But one of them again kind of shouts out, their voice carrying through the wind, shouts out, "Well, that's unfortunate. Anything else you can spare for us? We would hate to fly away from this empty-handed."
Let me consult with our cook and see if we have any excess supplies that we could possibly spare for you.
They don't respond to that,
Sounds.
presumably giving you some time to do what you say you're trying to do.
So I grab Porunga and we go inside the boat, and I tell Derek to keep an eye on them and let us know if anything crazy happens.
Got it. Flute ready. Oh, never mind.
And
My
then
viol's
once
ready.
me and Porunga are inside and we shut the door,
Of course. Of
um,
course. No,
Door
you need to
we
shut the door.
I
No,
asked
you
him.
did it.
So what do we? Is there anything we can give them that will make them happy enough where we don't have to give them any of our actual food?
Um, I'm not too sure, bro.
Do you know who would know that we could figure this out really quick before they get angry? Because they will attack us if they try to if we make them leave empty-handed.
Porunga, you there?
Uh-oh.
He's
Oh
thinking.
yeah, sorry.
He's thinking.
Do you think maybe Kyra or Mercy may know?
Possibly. Should we ask them?
I quickly jot about the ship, looking for either Kyra or Pythor or someone who knows more about our boat than me.
They're both on the lower deck. You can very easily find them around the area closer to the captain's quarters. You explain to them the situation. And Pythor will say, "Harpies. I remember their kind. They tend to be quite the tricky individuals. I don't believe much good can give from giving them anything, but I also don't think it's good to give them nothing. They are fickle creatures, that much is true." Kyra says, "We have a couple of goats, I suppose.
Do we? Do we?
Well, yeah, no, you still have like at least 2 more goats, I think. She says we have at least 2 more goats, but well, we can't really exactly be giving away all of these animals just like that."
Yeah, that's why I was hoping maybe we had something other than, our goats or cows or something that we could give them, like, I don't know, potatoes. I mean, do we have anything?
We have some, I suppose, hardtack as well. But are you sure this might be a good idea?
No, it's definitely not a good idea, but I know that if we give them nothing, they will attack us because they can see all of our livestock on the ship.
Hmm.
They told me they are very hungry and very agitated.
I suppose I can leave this to your jurisdiction. We have regular supplies, potatoes, hardtack, and the like. We also have the animals. But, well, what do you believe we should give them?
I disappeared down because I was kind of sort of there. I was just kind of like peeking out from the door that leads down. I'm gonna go down to the deck where Wizzy's food supply is. I'm gonna grab a shit ton of the fish that I fished for him out of the barrel. I'm gonna walk back up to the top deck and be like, "Here's some fish. Is this good enough for you?"
Hold on, just one moment. Before you do that, the Bouxfhades, would you have an answer for Kyra?
No, I would probably just tell her that I'll grab what supplies I can, and try to negotiate.
So as you begin to grab the supplies, Exandri would, come up from the
Right, yeah, she
side.
would come up, and then I'd come busting out the door with a bunch of potatoes in my arms, and she has whatever she has.
There is a barrel of like salted, sort of like fish, to kind of preserve it for a moment, for a bit. It's probably not, it's not like cooked or anything. It's like raw, it's
Yes,
kind of
it's
being.
just raw fish that was sitting in barrels with salt.
Yes. What's it called? You would come up to the upper decks in order to look at the harpies and, well, grab your potatoes and fishes. The harpies say, "What do you have right there?"
So, potatoes and fish. Freshly caught this morning. Although they were being preserved on some salt, but that just helps them stay fresh longer. They're all yours if you wish to have them.
They kind of look over at each other. You see as one of them does kind of, well, seem to fly lower down. Well, actually, 3 of them seem to fly lower down, closer to the ship. They, seem to be accepting of this gift that you have given them, or that you are
While this
intending
is
to give them.
happening,
Yes.
I'm slowly putting my arm around Derek to make sure that he doesn't do anything stupid.
And I start hugging him and say, "Hey, me and you, buddy."
Aw.
Uh,
You're turning
We're both grabbing each other's weapons, trying to not shank each other.
these three fly
Stab
down
me, stab you.
and just kind of, with their talons, sort of like point at the ground, like put him down here. Let me see the things that you have. Put him down here.
I
We're
picked
hugging each other
out
right now. We're
a plethora full of fish deck for them. And then I step away so they don't feel threatened.
They kind
Me
of
and-
smell the fish for a bit. Salty. But I suppose this works. As they kind of begin to grab as much as they can with their talons. Just kind of talonfuls of fish and potatoes. They kind of like begin to fly back to the rest of their flock, quote unquote. And they seem to again toss the supplies, I guess, around at each other. Some catch them with their mouth, some with their talons, and then put it to their mouth. You will notice, however, that a couple of things have changed in the water ever since you started this little interaction. I did mention before how part of the water is, was kind of stained red with the blood of the, of the sheep, seemingly, that they managed to tear apart amongst themselves. You
What the
now,
fuck did they find sheep in the center of the ocean?
well, you
That's
don't
what I'm
know.
trying to figure out.
You don't know.
What?
You don't
I
know.
cast
Maybe,
around a sheep no jutsu.
you don't know. Maybe they took it from a passing ship. What's it called? Speaking of which, you now see, again, I'll believe everyone's passive perception is decent enough that you would be able to see this pretty easily.
Right,
That
17.
that in the area, like roughly around where, the ship was torn asunder, and now bits and pieces of potatoes and fishes are now falling into that same segment. You see as a lot of fins are visible in the water. This very
Achilles, right?
this very large, creatures are now visible in the blood-stained water. What's it called? You hear one of the soldiers kind of look over and say, "Ugh, that doesn't look good." After they finish their little meal that you've shared with them, the harpies, one of them speaks up and says, "Thank you, kind travelers. That certainly hit the spot." She looks at the other harpies like they, like giving them almost like a knowing look. And then one of them says, "Because you were so kind, we will leave you be at peace for now. Until we meet again." And they begin to fly off into the distance.
I whispered to Bouxfhades, "Should I be killing these?"
No, stay still. Don't fucking move. As I grab his throat.
I
Sworn
look around the
discipline.
ship for Mercy. Do I see her up here?
I said we're whispering. You can't hear us. We're whispering.
She is not here, though you do spot out of the corner of your eye, kind of peeking from the stairs that lead up to the upper deck. You do see, Chandras, kind of just looking at this all play out. He says,
Do me and Bouxfhades look at him?
I mean, anybody who looks roughly in that general direction would be able to see him. He says, "Well, that went better than I expected."
Bouxfhades just both look at him
Honestly, I
very
agree.
angrily.
I wonder what would have happened if you had refused to feed them.
Well,
Maybe.
surely we would have killed them. And then I walk right past them and back up to my bunk.
Back to the Sandra cave.
I say, yeah, we could have killed them, but the last time I checked, and I shout this really loudly as she walks away, we're not supposed to be killing people.
Uh,
They're
as,
That's
not.
correct! And then you
My
hear
bad.
a
They're
slam
not.
of a door.
as Xandri passes by Chandras, he just kind of looks over his
Madge.
shoulder. Looks over his shoulder as she goes away, and he says, "Well, she has quite the attitude today. I wonder, did someone die or something?"
Ooh,
You're lucky
I
you're
give
holding me
him,
back, Bouxfhades.
ooh.
I give him a death glare, and I say, now is not the time. Walk away.
And me. The pictures me and Bouxfhades have our knives against each other. We're hugging each other out, but our knives are like really close to each other.
When you give him the death look, Bouxfhades, Chandras just kind of shrugs and says, "Just trying to find some levity."
Well, you can go find
That way,
it on a
buddy.
different part of the ship, away from me.
And me too.
Suit yourself. As
Alright, back to trying to stab each other.
With that interaction completed, that could have gone a lot worse. Not for you, but for your crew.
Oh god.
What's it called? Hey, you're down to 70 people, and 50 of them need to man the fucking oars at all times. So, you know,
Technically, we
there's
lost 25. Okay.
there's only so many. There's only so many people that are whose hands aren't currently occupied. But with that out of the way, you guys will continue. Just again as a point of reference, each travel from one island to the other is roughly 3 days, assuming there's a random encounter. So just keep that in mind. What's it called?
We're at 20 days, guys. Woo!
No, 3. What? No, it would be like 6 days now. What's it called? Because you had the one again when you were on the way to the Isle of Yonder, and now this one. What's it called?
That puts
We're
us
there
at
for 1
60
day.
It puts us at 69 days.
Correct.
Nice.
Now,
Nice amount of days.
in the morning of the 3rd day of your travel, you see ahead of you what appears to be a, shall we say, a oddly shaped island. It seems to kind of have this weird, sort of like almost triangular, maybe X-shaped, angle from one side. The island itself doesn't present that many notable features, at least from a distance. Rather, well, what you would see first would be the sort of like unusually calm waters around the island, as well as its sandy beaches, I suppose. The land is mostly flat, presenting no real, like I said, discernible features. There are not really that many big trees. Most of the vegetation, at least at first glance, seems to consist of small shrubberies. And what stands out to you approaching this island is that there appears to be a singular, shall we say, notable form in the distance, a structure, if you would. What's it called? That appears to, well, dominate most of the island. A large, sort of ominous-looking black tower of sorts that seems to be towards the middle of the island. Give me one moment while I move you to the thing. So, you approach Versi, Bouxfhades, and what do you ask her specifically?
Basically what I said, I just wanted to know if she had any more information on this witch, if she could possibly be hostile, is there any kind of customs that we should appreciate, when we meet her that she may take offense to if we don't do right?
She will look at you and say, "The Lotus Witch is as old as she is mystical. There is certainly a high likelihood that she might not be possessing of the same level of view on the world as you do. I suppose the best advice I can give you is to be as respectful as you can, but cautious. Think of your words carefully before answering anything she asks. They are, after
Okay, I'll
all,
keep that in mind.
the most predominant stories that surround her existence, often involve people trying to seek her out, and then not being heard from again.
Well, that's definitely not terrifying, but I appreciate the input and the help.
I wish I could give you more of an advice here, but sadly my extent of her knowledge limits very much.
Well, I appreciate your help. Would you? I don't know if it's allowed per your oath, but would you want to accompany us on the island to meet her?
I have a feeling that she might misinterpret your intentions if I was to be along for this.
I understand. Okay.
Now, you guys would make landfall at one of the sandy beaches of the island. You're arriving roughly north from this location. From, north in the island, I should say. There is a bit of a walk before you reach the actual, shall we say, monolith that you see in the middle of the island, which is really the only discernible landmark you can see from a distance. Like I said, the land's mostly flat, plains and the like. There's nothing really much in the way of, anything else noticeable through the foliage of the island, whatever there is. What do you guys do?
Is the whole party going? Because it sounds like some people may not want to go.
Well, everybody would most likely be informed of the island. In fact, upon almost right as the crew is starting to prepare the kind of like rowboats, Kyra is kind of like on the upper deck, seeing the island in the distance, and then she says, "Oh man, this island reminds me of a story. It's not entirely a good one, and I think I've already said it, so there's probably not a reason for me to go into that."
Well, I don't believe I've heard the story. Would you like to enlighten me? You can give me the brief version.
Okay. Do you have the device with you, the Antikythera device?
I believe Xandri has it on her.
Gonna go drag it from the basement.
Well, go fetch her for us, would you? Oh, actually, maybe it's the best if you don't go, Derek.
Yeah,
Personal.
Of course.
Please.
I mean, it could work. She could just chase. She'll chase me out of the boat. So she'll be up here.
It would make for an interesting visual to see Xandri chase you around with a instrument of murder. I believe we might, need to work on unity and the like. Right. So Bouxfhades, could you go fetch Xandri?
I'll definitely do my best. I'll see if she'll talk to me.
Magic.
So I guess I travel down to her room and knock on her door.
Yep.
I knock again.
Do you answer, Xandri?
Who is it?
Hey, it's Bob.
What do you
Um,
want?
we we've arrived at the next island, and Kyra was going to explain some information to us, but she asked that I bring you upstairs along with the antique tarot device.
Mm-hmm. I see. And it's for what exactly again?
She was going to explain some information about the island that would be useful to us.
Well, I guess I better be there. They for sure know that Porunga, and Derek aren't gonna comprehend anything.
Yeah, and I don't know the story, so it'd be great to have someone who has a little more background than me upstairs.
Make it
Yeah,
jump.
Also,
don't worry.
thanks for earlier with the harpy situation. You kind of saved my neck there. Appreciate that.
Okay. So all of you guys come up to the upper deck. Like I said, you see the island in front of you. Kyra looks at you, Exandria, and says, "May I have this for a moment?" Gesturing at the indicator device.
I roll my eyes and give it to her.
She begins to turn the gears, and the sort of like illusory constellations begin to appear in the air. She kind of cycles through them until she lands at the one that leads to the, to seems to represent this island. It is the constellation of the Centaur. To make it, a little bit clearer. Hold on, there we go. Pow. There's the thing on screen. Let me make sure everybody can see it, and not just very specific people. There we go. She points at the constellation of the Centaur and says, "Well, you see that those groups of stars over there. They are supposed to represent, well, an old tale of sorts. The Centaur and the Scorpion. It is said that a while ago a Centaur found a Scorpion stuck in a puddle of mud. The Scorpion begged for its help, but the Centaur was too afraid to get stung by it, and so he trotted away. Left the Scorpion to his own devices. Fortunately for the Scorpion, a strong gust of wind blew down a branch into the puddle, and the Scorpion was able to use it to escape. However, the story doesn't end there. The Scorpion followed the Centaur's hoofprints, seeking retribution, revenge for, well, the inaction that the Centaur was responsible of. Eventually, he did find the Centaur, and when the Centaur was sleeping, the Scorpion then lured from behind, approached from behind, and stung them right in the throat. The Centaur reacted in just enough time to thrash about until one of its hooves landed on the Scorpion and crushed it. However, the deed was done. The Centaur was dying, and as it laid there, the Centaur said to the Scorpion, "If you hadn't sought revenge, we would both still be alive." However, the Scorpion then replied to the surprise of the Centaur and said, "If you would have helped me, I wouldn't have sought revenge." This story is often told to explain a key aspect about this island. Only in this island will you find a unusual type of scorpions. Ones that can grow as large, if not larger, than a centaur. And they are at perpetual odds with each other.
So we should probably avoid the scorpions.
They can probably be avoided, yes. Up to you, I suppose. It would be in your best interest to just, go here to what you came for initially and then get out.
Understood. No exploration.
Well, like I said, it's up to you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I guess while everyone's here, I know that we came here specifically for me. Is there anyone who would like to join me or not join me?
I will join you. But just a heads up, I don't have any heals prepared. Make sure you have potions.
I kind of gave most of them to Porunga on the island. I think I only have one.
Oh, well, I'll give you one for 3 gold, which is pretty cheap considering they're 50.
Yeah, no, I'll take them.
Alright, how many do you want? No,
Uh,
we'll say I said 5 gold, because they really are 50 gold, but obviously we're in a money issue right now, so if I'm the one buying potions, you can buy a potion for 5 gold.
give me 3 of them.
Alright, I'll give you 3 potions.
So hold on,
You
I
see
gotta
me
do some
turn
math.
around and open up Lizzie's saddlebag, and you hear a little beep because I pull out 3 potions and hand them to you, and I wait for my payment.
And then I had to give Lizzie a pat on the head.
There's a little herpy derpy bounce back and forth.
And I'm like, good boy. So Xandri will join me. Is anybody else wanting to go on this interesting journey or no?
I'll go.
Derek? Drakgar?
Long, bombastic side eye in Porunga's direction.
Drakgar
Oh, and
is
Drag is typing.
Drakgar is here, so he'll join. Derek, are you coming along?
Okay.
Derek?
We can let Derek stay and watch the ship.
We totally can.
Derek, are you there?
Is he even here?
He was here a moment ago. Okay.
Hey, Pumo, did your computer freeze? His computer actually better, to be honest. His computer's been shit lately.
Blah 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 blah.
Alright, there we go.
Alright, we can hear you.
In that case,
Blah 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 blah.
you guys all hop on one of the rowboats and begin to make your way to the shore. Only takes a couple of moments for you to row your way all the way to the shore before you land on the very wide sandy beaches of the island. You would notice there's actually a couple of people on the shores, a bit further into the island. Around 3 or so humanoid individuals seem to be performing a wide variety of exercises. Well, I say exercises. One of them appears to be in the middle of meditation of sorts, as you see them kind of sitting down the ground, cross-legged. What's it called? They pay very little attention to your approach, as they seem very focused on their exercise, maybe? What do you do?
I just kind of look back toward the group and, kind of gauge their reactions. And then I kind of just keep walking.
Okay. This is roughly how these individuals would look like. Very minimalistic gear, sort of like spears, shields, and the like.
Hey, what'd that do to the Olympics?
They do seem to have a very similar outfit to the Arisian warrior monks that you guys saw back at Mythros.
Yeah. What about so is this the island that our friend to that we were talking to?
You're not sure? What's it called? They don't really like, interact with you. Again, they seem to pay you no mind as they are kind of focused on their little exercise. Unless you go out of your way to talk to them. Which it sounds like. Okay. So Bouxfhades, you walk past them into the island. Again, they don't really say anything to you. You might catch like a couple of mutters here and there, but they're kind of indiscernible. You guys proceed further into the island. Again, mostly just flat plains, so if anything's around here, you might see it from a mile away. What's it called? As you continue to move, you will notice that, well, there is actually a lot of movement in the area. Animals and the like seem to be wildly traversing these plains. No sign of the giant scorpions just yet. But you believe they might not actually be in this specific area at the moment. You continue to go until you arrive at a bit of an incline in the, what's it called? In the, land. Probably one of the few inclines that actually exist around here. It goes up for quite a couple of moments. By this point, you're basically like, you believe you are in close proximity to the obelisk-like tower. Upon reaching the top of this escalation, you see a large, shall we say, field of flowers. You see as the moment all of you will reach this elevation. It's as if somehow you entered a completely different place. You still see the rest of the the island, except that the further you walk into the field of wildflowers that surround the tower, you look up and you see as the sky seems to switch. You see as the, shall we say, the sun begins to rise and set at a high pace. It's as if I was using, real life equivalents, as if you're seeing a time lapse of the sky above, with day and night rapidly passing you by. Yes,
I look back at the party and I say, this seems like it could be from the Lotus Witch, so I guess we're getting close.
We'll point out, even from a distance, the obelisk is roughly 200, maybe 250 feet away from you at this point. You don't see any visible doors, shall we say. You see what you believe to be windows, kind of like along the upper half of the tower, but you don't see any other points of entry.
I guess we should. I look at the party and say, I guess if there's no entrances that are visible, we're gonna just have to go look and see what we can find. This is getting a little weird, so if anyone wants to back out, now's your chance.
So we just see an obelisk in the middle. That's all we see right now,
Well,
right?
you're basically walking through like a field of wildflowers, and you see the tower slash obelisk sort of like in the middle of this field, roughly 200 or so feet away from you. The sky above you is kind of like shifting in between night and day. Like if anybody's seen the, if if anybody's seen like the Moon Knight TV show, Netflix show, well not Netflix show, fucking Disney show, that scene where like all the stars seem to be moving like super rapidly. That's kind of how it's looking like at this point. What's it called? It's a weird sight. But do you continue moving closer to the tower?
I gave everybody their fair chance to leave, so yeah, I'm gonna keep walking toward the tower.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay. You walk forward until you reach. Well, you take 1 step, 2 step into the field of flowers. Suddenly,
I actually,
yeah.
before we go to the field of flowers, I like cover my mouth with a mask.
Okay. So again, like the tower's like sort of like 200 or so feet away from you. You begin to take 1 steps, 2 steps, 3 steps. By the 4th step, you blink, and you're already in front of the tower.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You look back, and you do see the distance that you were like away moments ago, seemingly covered in the blink of an eye, almost literally.
I look around. It's like, did we teleport?
So now we're like right in front of it now, right?
Basically, yeah, you're like at the front of it. And what's more, whereas before you didn't see an entrance, now you do see one. This kind of large set of double doors, double wooden doors, intricately carved with strange sort of like hieroglyphic-like designs on them.
Oh god,
Um,
doors.
Can I like
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Well, before he does that, I just wanted to remind everybody because I don't think they heard my conversation with Versi that she did say that we need to be as non-hostile as possible and as respectful as possible. So
Oh,
before we
guess
just
I'll
go
stay
snooping
outside.
around, well, I'm just saying, just before we go snooping around or doing anything that could be seen as disrespectful, let's think first.
yeah. Well, also before we proceed, can I like look around like the door, see if it looks like there's any like traps or any magical?
You can make me an investigation check. At 12. You look around the door frame, you look around the area. No discernible traps that you can see. It's kind of strange though. The way the wall, I guess, of the tower seems to flow into the door frame of the door that you're seeing. It looks odd. Something about it looks odd, as if the door is like melded into the wall. You know, like it was faced into place rather than be built around it.
I'll look at Bo and like, do you see that? And then I'll point at like the spot on the wall or whatever. It looks kind of weird.
Yeah, I see that too. Just maybe, what if we just like, I mean, she obviously wanted us to come closer to the obelisk because we teleported pretty far. Maybe we should just ask her if she would let us have a audience with her, and maybe we'll get teleported into the obelisk. And I say that out loud, like not whispering or anything.
You think she can hear us?
That's kind of the hope.
I guess we could try it.
What is I'm waiting on, I guess, Xandri's thoughts if she's still here.
Xandri did not enter the building.
So she didn't teleport with us.
No, she wasn't lying when she said she wouldn't be a bitch. She's a
Also-
siren. She can't control her emotions. She's in a bad mood.
Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, I guess I loudly not like mad or anything, but just say, Lotus Witch, if you can hear us, we would like an audience with you. I have an affliction. I was told you might be able to provide some insight on.
You say the words out loud, and you then feel this weird sort of like presence, I guess, bathe over you. Within moments, you will see as the doors seem to swing open. You see in front of you what appears to be a circular room, mostly circular room. Looks very featureless, except for a set of stairs that seem to lead up.
I tell her, I say, I appreciate your willingness to speak with me. Would you like to speak with me alone, or can I bring my companions?
There is no answer.
So the room just
So basically, what you're seeing right now is presumably the lowest floor of the tower. There's not a lot of features on the room other than, strange, like the walls, I guess, the interior walls of the tower seem to also have this weird sort of like strange carvings on them. There is a circular stair that goes around the perimeter of the tower and further up. Do you guys enter the room?
before
I look back. I look back at Porunga and Drakgar and I say, I don't think we should leave our weapons, but do not touch them.
Yeah, we should probably not get hostile if we don't need to.
No, because I want to be as respectful as possible.
I was thinking maybe I should just stay down here and just stay by the door.
I also
You can-
would not have let Derek enter the building if I could.
Well, Derek, we left Derek at the ship.
Oh yeah, because he wasn't biking. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's just me and Drac then. Actually, I put down at least my greatsword as a show of respect by the door
Before entering?
I'm gonna wait down. I'm gonna wait down here by
before
the door.
entering.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it with Porunga.
Porunga, when you say, it might be better if I don't enter, you hear Estor's voice at the back of your head say, "Getting cold feet now? Come on, you can do better than this."
Chill out, bro. It's not today's not the day.
This is the old...
We just have a whole session of Puruga and Estor shit talking.
Yeah,
I want
I need a Porunga Estor like Venom episode.
Can we have a one shot?
I want you to think for a moment, my scaly friend, that this is perhaps your only chance in your lifetime to be able to see one of the most ancient beings of Tylea face to face. And you're just going to let it slip from your fingers? Think about the arcane knowledge that she holds in her possession. Does it not even intrigue you the slightest bit?
Not really my transparent friend because I grew up in isolation, and I think I'll live.
Are you sure? She could even help us point us towards the direction of that treasure I told you.
I thought you knew where it was at.
Yes, I do. But she might have some knowledge that we don't.
Sorry, I was coughing.
All right. Do you guys think I should go or?
You can stay
I
with
personally
me, Puruga.
think I think it'd be better if you stay. I think the less people that go in, the better.
All right. I'll stay.
Okay.
I'm
And
telling you
then
though, Porunga and Esther Archlander is a soap opera I'm into.
Uh, all right. So just so I got this
And
correct, the only ones going inside are Bouxfhades and Drakgar?
yes, and I set my great sword +1 down at the door as a sign of respect toward the witch that we are not lost out.
and also before we go in the room, I'm gonna check for traps or magic again.
Like I said, you can't really spot
Oh,
anything
it's
that
still
looks like
still no.
traps.
Okay, okay, okay. Never mind then.
Okay. In that case, you guys begin to head down. Well, not head down, head into the tower. The moment you cross the threshold of the doorway, it's as if you pass through this form of veil-like effect. Whereas before, ahead of you was an empty first floor. Now, you see what appears to be uh, dozens. Well, maybe dozens is an exaggeration, but certainly a lot of infant, people, kids that seem to be, shall we say, no older than toddlers. Here we go. I might as well reveal the whole map now. Can you guys see?
Yeah,
You see this, these kids who don't particularly seem to be like old enough to even talk. Just, well, out and about in the first floor of the tower. You would basically be entering from around here. What's it called? The kids are performing a variety of not really specific tasks. Some are, just sleeping. Others are playing amongst each other. Others seem to be holding this flowers that look very similar to the ones that are on the outside of the tower. They, like I said, don't seem to really pay you too much attention. Some of them do react with that sort of like telltale, sort of like childlike curiosity. When you enter, kind of, how when kids who aren't like old enough to speak, they just kind of stare at you, like with like a look of like they're trying to figure out just who are you, what is your deal. That's kind of a couple of the looks that you're getting from some of the kids. Like I said, you see a variety of races amongst them. Humans, half-elves, dwarves, there's even centaurs and minotaurs, infants here amongst all of them. Again, none of them seem to have a problem with each other. They just kinda... It's as if it's a daycare in here.
I look at Drakgar and with an inquisitive look and ask him what he thinks of this.
I don't trust. I'm not sure. This is kind of a weird.
Should
I wonder.
we should we talk to
Shut up.
should we talk to
Yeah.
the kids or ignore them?
Probably ignore them. But if we're going to proceed further, we should probably proceed with caution.
Yeah. As we, I guess, walk toward the stairs, I would like to keep looking around, making sure we don't see anything out of the ordinary, obviously, other than a bunch of random kids in a mystical obelisk tower in the middle of a field of flowers. Anything outside of that weird?
Uh,
Um,
well, you do see that some of the kids kind of, like I said, they're holding those like flowers that are like outside of the tower. They seem to perform this sort of like memorized series of movements where they kind of put the flowers in between this sort of weird book-like sort of like object and just kind of press down on it. Well, yeah, flower pressing, basically, the best way I can just say it. Again, it doesn't seem like they exactly know what they're doing. It's more like these are movements that they are, kind of familiar with, I suppose, and just gonna repeat them.
Is there a way that I can look at them and tell if they're under some kind of like a spell?
That's
Uh,
one of
you can make me an insight check.
oh mother trucker.
Bouxfhades, you don't believe they are under like spell or compulsion or something like that. It just seems more akin to how how when a parent instills into their child like like a series of actions to just perform, and the child just kind of repeats them even though they might not know what they're doing.
Okay. I would like. Can I? How many? Can I count how many kids are in the room?
Uh, roughly, like a little bit over a dozen. I'll say roughly like 15, 16 kids.
Okay. Thank you. I'm just trying to keep track of everything. I guess I'll motion the Drakgar and we'll keep walking toward the stairs, keeping an eye on the children.
Okay. As you're about to head up the stairs, one of the kids does actually speak up. He looks human, roughly older than all of the kids, but maybe not by that much. However, they are able to produce enough words to actually communicate with you. This kid over here looks over at you as you begin to take like the first step up the stairs and says, "You're going to go see the witch, right?"
Yes, I need to speak with her. I have an affliction that I've been told that she may be the only person who can help me.
She, the kid, looks at you and says, "Well, don't make her angry. She's very scary when she's angry."
I kind of like bend down to get on the kid's level, and I asked him. I said, "Well, can you tell me what kind of things would make her angry?"
He kind of seems to try and recall. You can see in his face like, like he's trying to remember things. And then he says, "She doesn't like it when you don't know things."
You said he?
She doesn't like it when you don't
Oh,
know
she.
things.
Okay. Is there anything else you can tell me about her?
She takes care of us, I guess.
That's good. Well fed, have things to do.
He nods.
And I tell him thank you, and you know, I kind of stand back up and you know start to go back toward the stairs. And I tell Drakgar what happened. You know, he said not to make her angry. He said that she doesn't like when you don't know things, um, and that's about all I know.
I'll try my best.
So I guess we'll continue.
You continue going up the stairs, up a very large, very long staircase that seems to lead you to across the tower. Um, it's at first you're kind of surprised because you while the obelisk did look pretty tall from the outside, you didn't actually expect it to go up this long. In fact, at some point, as you begin to ascend up the stairs, you notice there is like this weird windows off to the sides of the stairs that seem to have a a bit of designs, shall we say.
That's what I was gonna ask if there was any windows.
Yes, you believe these are the same windows that you saw from the outside. What's it called? You see one of them, seems to be the closest one on your right. Do you see out of the window?
Um, I don't get super close to the window, but I try to kind of like, I guess, look out through the window to see if I can still see outside.
You look through the first window, and you don't see the outside, or rather, you do, just not the outside that you were expecting. You see as a strange, shall we say, otherworldly, view comes into view rather from the window. It seems to go. It's almost as if the point of view of the window is roughly like 100 or so feet above into the air of some other location that you don't recognize. It is a beautiful, expansive, sort of like idyllic landscape with mountains, trees, and a clear water river that you can see. It heavenly would be a way to describe it. This is what you see.
Whoa.
Now, does Drakgar see this too, or is it just me who
Yes.
sees it?
Both of you, when you both look into the window, you both see this.
That doesn't look like the outside we were just.
Yeah, but I don't think we should be too worried yet. I mean, there's been no hostility so far, so I guess we just continue.
Yeah, but you should be cautious.
Well, always.
There's 6 more of these windows all throughout the length of the hallway. Not the hallway, the stairs. My bad.
Do they all?
Yeah, do they all have the same view, or is it a different view every window?
No, it's a different view every window.
Oh,
That's.
that's trippy.
Do you look through all of them?
I guess so.
Yeah.
The second window looks into a horrifying hellscape of sorts. The most notable feature out of this landscape that you're seeing, and again, all of these share the same sort of, all of these windows that you're gonna be looking out of, all share the same general point of view that is like 100 or so feet up in the air from whatever ground there might be. This one, you see as there appears to be a singular structure towards the middle of the landscape that looks like a super prison. It's almost like this impossibly large fortress with multiple watchtowers and spikes on the on the top of the battlements, as if to make sure nobody goes in, nobody goes out of this place.
Well, I'm writing some stuff down.
You see a couple of figures down from this point of view of the window. You see some fiendish, like demonic-looking creatures kind of walking this hellscape. Some with collars around their neck, some not.
Hmm. I point that out to Drakgar and tell him that that's interesting that some would have them and some wouldn't.
Right.
The third window is a strange one. There, it seems to look out into an empty expanse of stars and nebulae of sorts.
Now
Nothing
we're
that you've ever seen in your life compares to this. However, in between, interspersed in the vast emptiness of this, of this space, shall we say, there are strange structures, I suppose you could call them, that don't quite resemble most of the architecture, or any actually, of the architecture found in Tylea. If anything, they share more in common with the strange monolithic tower that you're currently in. This is what you see.
the astral. Oh,
Oh.
so we're in space now.
Again, although the windows are facing, again, the windows are facing into these strange worlds.
And then, just to make sure, these windows are facing toward the outside of the tower, not the inside, correct?
Well, they looked like the windows that you saw from the outside, though you couldn't see what was visible from the inside of the tower from the outside, looking through those windows. They, like I said, these windows are kind of built into the wall of the tower, and presumably they should, logically, be the same ones that you saw from the outside. Except
Okay.
they don't seem to accomplish that purpose.
Right, but I just mean like if we're walking, up the stairwell and there's a wall on both sides, they would be on the exterior wall, not the
Yes,
interior
correct.
wall.
They would be facing in towards the exterior wall.
They would be facing toward the interior?
Toward exterior wall.
Oh, exterior. Okay, got it. We're good.
What's it called? The fourth window seems to lead into another similar looking sort of like hellscape of sorts, except this one doesn't even have like a sort of like telltale like super prison-esque sort of like a structure to make even like a reference of. What it does have, however, is this army-sized sort of like group of insect men of sorts that seem to be wandering the wastelands, marching as if they are well-trained armies of soldiers. Most of them, in fact, you've actually seen beings like this before. Chandra's demonic bodyguard seems to look a lot like these creatures. You see hundreds of them being led by completely different but still equally fiendish looking entities that again seem to be kind of marching with them through this wasteland.
I wonder if that's Lutheria's place or area.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely be asking Chandra some questions later.
The fifth window seems to lead. Well, at first you could have thought this was Tylea. It certainly looked very similar, like at least from a like architectural standpoint. Except something's off about it. Certain things don't really quite match up. You appear to be witnessing the middle of a grand battle of sorts between two conflicting armies. One of them seems to be defending the city that is currently being, under attack by the other opposing army. There is chaos everywhere. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look a little bit further into the city, you see what appears to be a massive, sort of like wooden structure that seems to vaguely resemble that of a horse. towards the middle of the battlefield, you see two warriors, roughly equally matched, fighting each other in the middle of of this battlefield, with none of the other soldiers interrupting this, what seems to be like an honorable duel of sorts.
Now, just out of curiosity, the dude on the right there, does he look like the other monk warriors that were outside on our way here?
No, he seems very like completely geared up, like bronze armor, long red cape,
Oh, okay.
super sturdy looking shield, and a spear. What's it called? The other guy doesn't look like he's having that much of a chance against this man.
Right. Okay.
Do they look like the Dragonlords?
They,
Oh, actually, we never. Or actually, we.
yeah, you
never mind.
wouldn't exactly know.
We
what
wouldn't
those
know.
would
No,
look
no,
like.
no, no. Yeah,
No, they,
yeah, no.
Like again, all of the gear, all of the armor, everything looks like it should belong in Thylea. Except you're
Oh.
fairly certain the city you're looking at doesn't actually exist anywhere in the map of Thylea. The sixth window, you actually do recognize what is being shown to you in the sixth window. It is a... Well, you believe this is showing you the Scorpion Island. As you can see by the large sort of like plains that that are telltale of the island, you at the far end of the in the horizon you do see the tower, the monolithic tower. You see a roaming band of centaurs traveling the plains as they seem to be, currently just sort of galloping wildly through the fields. There doesn't seem to be any specific direction in mind other than just, ahead into a nearby tree line.
Now, is there any kind of indication that would tell us, based off of what we've seen on the island, whether this could possibly be like a past or future?
You can't tell. The window is far away from the point of view of the window is far enough away from the ground that you can't exactly pinpoint landmarks too well. At least not from what you see coming directly from the ship to the island.
Got it. And was this the last of the windows?
No, there's one final window.
Okay.
As I very quickly can just show you this now that you've seen the other ones. What's it called? Let me get rid of the kids real quick. The last one, completely different from all the other windows you've seen so far. It seems to show you the window seems to be located, again, 100 feet above what appears to be a large, almost ravine-like sort of space where a large fort-like structure or castle or something to that effect seems to be built into the side of one of the mountain walls of this, one of the walls of this ravine. There is also a war going on here. Two different sides seem to be battling it out with the more numerous sort of like dark, color-coded sort of like army laying waste to the walls of this fort. They've in fact broken a breach into one of the walls that seem to be protecting this structure. The other armies not really looking too good for them defending this point. It seems pretty bad for them. All hope seems very much lost for the army that is defending this structure. Until you see from one of the sides of the ravine a light emanates from a from a hill, from this incline, from above a hill, a light emanates, and you see standing in the light what appears to be a singular horse-mounted individual. But soon enough, he's joined by multiple armored horse-mounted individuals, and they begin a charge down the hill towards the sort of like dark army.
Do the attackers, or no, actually, it's probably too far away for me to notice. Never mind.
What were you gonna ask?
I was going to ask if they look similar to the last army.
No, completely different. In fact, none of the armors and vestments that you see in this particular through this particular window seem to match any that would be considered traditional of Tylea or from the other world that you saw.
Now, I guess, do we notice any kind of correlation with these windows other than almost all of them are warring except for the first three?
Well, for one, can you roll me an Arcana check?
Oh, what?
Arcana.
Yes, an Arcana check.
Can I also do it, or just him?
You can if you want.
Oh, what? Let's go.
Well, Drakgar, you are not like a spellcaster or anything, right?
No. No.
This magic shenanigans
He's like, my sister's been teaching me.
like
Well,
this magic shenanigans are beyond you. You can't really make heads of tails of how all of this works, but sometimes the most simplest of answers are the correct ones. You believe the only real correlation between all of these things is that, if we don't recognize where this is, these are probably just different worlds in general. Except for the one that leads to Tylea. You are very confident that's Tylea. What's it called? It is strange, but the fact that all of this is possible, the fact that all of these windows seem to be facing into different worlds, not only leads you to the conclusion that, hey, maybe if we open the windows we can get into those worlds, but also that
Guys,
somehow
game plan.
We're planeswalking. Let's go.
that somehow
We fucked up Tylea. We're just hopping world.
somehow the Lotus Witch has acquired abilities that allow her to be able to travel to other worlds.
Can it possibly be the tower? That maybe the tower is some kind of a link between worlds?
You are not proficient in Arcana, so you can't exactly draw that specific conclusion. I mean, well, you're free to believe that if you wish, but you're not sure how accurate that conclusion would be.
Okay. Well, that's the assumption I'm going to give to Drakgar. I'm going to basically tell him that either the Lotus Witch has given this tower the properties, or the tower itself is giving the Lotus Witch the power to create these windows to other worlds.
That's my guess as well.
And I would like to do an experiment, but I'm too scared to make her angry. So I think we should avoid experimentation.
Yeah, I don't think we should touch anything.
We're gonna continue up.
You ascend the last bit of stairs until you find yourself in what presumably is the top of the tower. You would see that, contrary to how the outside looked like, where the the top of the obelisk looked sort of circular in shape, the inside of this appears to be quite square, I would say, almost pyramid-like in look. The you see, as on certain segments of the room, there are multiple sort of like tomes and scrolls and the like on top of this very large desks. They're strange, again, sort of runic hieroglyphic-like symbols carved on segments of the floor and the walls, and even the ceiling as well. And strangely enough, sometimes in blink and you miss it moments, the ceiling seems to be like flickering in between, sort of like I guess the best way I can describe this is like textures. Uh, it goes from the sort of like stone-like coloration that that's supposed to look like, into more sort of like wavy, sort of like colorful patterns, and laying at the back end of the room as you come up the stairs. You see a large form with the body of a large feline akin to a lion or lioness, with the wings of a large eagle, too large in
Oh
fact,
no.
and with the head of a woman. You see this figure laying at the top of the tower.
Finish.
I'm still making out what that is.
Go.
Oh no.
The figure, well, right away looks at you when you walk up the stairs, when you finish walking up the stairs. She looks at you and says, "How long have I waited for this day?"
Oh shit. Wifey her, she's gorgeous.
Oh God.
I saw this future play out time and time and time again. But never did I imagine, in the many futures where I saw this, that only two of you would be standing before me today. I know why is it that you're here. I know what you seek. At least, I believe I do. But the knowledge that you seek, the power that you seek, can only be attained if you complete my challenge.
I guess I will tell her.
You got
It,
this.
uh, I'll tell her that if I'll call her, what, like a moniker, like, great Lotus Witch. If you know why we are here, then um, I believe we should move forward to your challenge. If that's what we need to do to gain your respect.
She looks at you and begins to kind of pace around the room like, well, a lion looking at its prey. She moves from one side of the room to the other for a couple of segments and then says, "I smell it on you. The threads of a curse. One most unusual. But I also smell something else." She kind of sniffs the air for a bit. "I smell failure. I smell a daunting defeat. You bring with you the stench of past failures to my den. She did seem to look over at both of you when she was saying that.
Yeah, we recently got a little in over our heads, and we lost some good friends in a very dramatic battle.
In that case, you are well versed in the matters of the world, I gather. In the arts of war, in the arts of travel, in the arts of suffering. Are you
I would say
aware?
so.
Are you aware of the history of Tylea?
I know about the Oath of Peace and the war with the Dragonlords.
It is important to know your history, or else one is doomed to repeat it. Those oblivious to history are no better than infants, and they should be treated as such. I wonder, do you deserve to be transformed into one of my children? Suddenly, you have a realization, both of you, in the back of your minds.
Mhm.
All the stories about the adventurers going missing after looking for the Lotus Witch, it's not because they were killed. It's probably because somehow they were regressed into the beings that you now see downstairs.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
We sent the two people with the worst intelligence up there.
I had it from the second we met the children. I had a feeling. No.
She
That's why you left Porunga and I downstairs.
she looks at you and says, "If you can answer my 4 questions, I will then pay in kind what you may ask of me. Knowledge for knowledge. Are you ready?"
I'm not.
Uh,
Y'all be hold
I'm,
up those non-existent notes over there.
I'm ready.
Listen, Luke, pay attention. You got pay attention. You've been here longer than both of these. Pay attention to her questions, sir.
And
I
may
know,
I ask,
I know you can pull them out of the black hole of knowledge for D&D. You can do this.
are,
You gotta pay attention.
can I asked the Lotus Witch, may I ask,
Or
are these
reply to
questions
one of her
specifically for
questions as
me
I
or
don't
for the both
know.
of us?
Hold on, Cass. Trying to listen to Bouxfhades. What were you saying, Bouxfhades?
I was just saying, I asked the Lotus Witch, are these questions specifically for me or for my companion as well?
2 people enter the tower. Therefore, 2 people are part of the challenge.
Alright, we're ready.
The first question. Let us start at the beginning. When the golden tree of Tylea bore fruit, which 2 beings sprang from the same pit?
Oh, look at Drakgar!
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh my god, dude, are you...
What was the question? The question was, when the golden tree of Tylea bore fruit, which 2 beings spawned from the same pit at the same time? I grow restless for your answer.
Come on, Drakgar, pull that memory out.
What is your answer? Drakgar pulls out his notebook and begins to look through his notes.
Drake is trying
I
to read
wasn't
his
here
notes
for this
again.
part of the campaign.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Last time, when the golden tree of Tylea bore fruit, which two beings came out of the same pit at the same time? I'll. Here's
Kathy
what
has an out-of-game question. We have been given this information in-game already, correct?
you have been. There's some information you have been given before.
Okay.
Was I given this information?
Is well, knowledge that people could acquire over the course of their lives in Tylea.
Gotcha. Can I do like some kind of a history check on my past self to see if I stumbled across this information at some point?
You can certainly try.
Oh no!
It escapes you. You're gonna have to think of something here. You don't recall reading anything about this, but you may have heard it before. Time to rely on memory.
You got anything, Drag?
Is that your answer?
I'll let him
So,
answer that.
Drakgar thinks and thinks. Think. And he says, Sidon and Lutheria? Question mark. The Lotus Witch looks at you, her eyes narrow, and says, "That answer is correct." When Tylea, the mother goddess, gave her body in order to create the continent, from the tree that spawned from her heart, multiple fruits came out. Those who were born from the same fruit were the twin titans, Sidon and Lutheria. The other fruits bore their siblings, titans that are now lost to time, betrayed by the machinations of Sidon and Lutheria themselves. Now on to the second question. Who was the first of the Dragonlords? Xander. She looks at you, Drakgar, and says, "That was correct."
Wait, what was the question that I was? What was the question? Sorry.
Who was the first of the Dragonlords?
Oh, okay.
Does this have to be up to me? Lotus Witch says, correct. Xander, a mere human from another world, arrived at Tylea on the back of a majestic silver dragon known as Valmitria. And he was the first to found his Order of the Dragonlords. Third question. Who was the cruelest of the Dragonlords?
If you guys literally get that wrong,
Okay, cool.
I was low key for a second.
That is correct. Though it can be debated that Telamok Archelander shared in the bloodshed of his brother. It was ultimately Estor's own actions that led to the near eradication of the Gigan's original civilization. Therefore, he earned his title as the cruelest of the Dragonlords. The fourth and final question. What happened to the ancient city of the Sirens? Well, what do you guys say? Come on, guys. I gave y'all a whole player document with lore in there.
What was the question one more time?
What happened to the ancient city of the Sirens? You better not be googling these answers, Drakgar, otherwise I'm going to be very, very disappointed.
I'm actually on my notes, but
Okay.
I don't even know if I put anything about that.
The Lotus Witch looks at you and says, that answer is correct.
Wait, what is the answer? I don't even have the answer.
It sank.
Oh. Wait.
It is said that the Sirens were a very proud, very beautiful race when Tylea was first formed. In a sense, they still are. But it is said that their voices were so powerful, so beautiful once in a time, that the Titans grew jealous of their voices. For they believed that if someone was to sing praises to the high winds, then it should be praises only of the Titans. It is said that one night, the forces of the ocean grew too strong for the city's walls to contain them, and it collapsed, sinking to the bottom of the Forgotten Sea. Four questions were asked, 4 answers were given. And all of those were correct. You have completed my challenge. And as I said before, knowledge for knowledge. You are now allowed to ask your questions.
I guess first starting off. Hold on, let me see what Drax typing. Oh, okay. First starting off, I was told that you may be able to help me cure my affliction. Do you have the answer to my affliction?
Step forward, cursed one. Let me see you closer.
I'm like starting the thing, and I don't want to touch this in the middle.
She does actually gesture to the middle, sort of like
Oh
in
no!
a magic
You gotta
circle.
kill me! I'm trying to avoid it.
She begins to walk around you again, like a lion, fucking, walking around his prey. You see, both Bouxfhades and Drakgar, that her eyes begin to glow with magic. She begins to see you, from different angles. Drakgar, you're standing there like, should I go? And the Lotus Witch continues to circle around Bouxfhades. Eventually she comes to a stop. What's it called? And, comes to a stop like right in front of you again, Bouxfhades. And she says, your curse stems from one of the far corners of Tylea. One which very little have come and gone with their lives still intact. Your curse, young one, comes from an ancient power located deep within the island known as Typhon the Maw.
Sorry, Titan, what?
Typhon
It was
the
all
Maw.
fine. how you spell that last name? Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Only by
Um,
only by going there and diving deep into the volcanic heart of the island would you be granted the ability to lift your curse. But to do
sounds like
so,
that'll grant me a waste of my life.
yes, to do so as you are now will only lead it to a fiery death. Unless you hold with you a powerful item, one strong enough to protect you from the volcanic nature of the island's core. And seeing as you have passed my challenge, I am willing to give you this item. Will you accept it?
I will humbly accept your help and your item.
She kind of says, in that case, stay where you are. You see as she puts both her front paws on opposite sides of the circle. Magic begins to flow into the circle, creating a almost blinding light at your feet. You feel a sensation, almost as if scanning you, almost like something is moving over your body. And at this point, I need to ask you, what do you want for your greater magic item? The Staff of Fire, the Belt of Fire Giant Strength, or the Afridi bottle?
Are those in the
Fire
table
giant.
or the panel? I'm pretty sure I want the belt, but I don't remember what it does.
Just to give you a quick rundown of what the items are. This is out of character knowledge, but it's obviously important for you to know because this
Yes.
determines your like greater artifact, basically.
Right.
The Staff of Fire. Well, ordinarily only a spellcaster can attune to it, but for the purposes of this, I'm saying you can also attune to it. Staff of Fire, basically, well, it's a staff, and you can cast various fire-themed spells from them. Fireball, Wall of Fire, and the like. A limited number of amounts of time per day. The Belt of Fire Giant Strength elevates your strength. While attuned to this item, your strength score becomes, let me double check. Items, Belt of Fire Giant Strength. There we go. While attuned to this item, to this belt, your strength becomes a 25. You will also gain resistance to fire damage while attuned to this belt. Same is true for the Staff of Fire. The last one, the Afridi bottle, is a more limited item. Think of it as a genie bottle, basically. When you rub it, it summons a Afridi, which is a type of genie. And depending on a bit of chance, there's an element of chance here, which involves you rolling a d100. The Afridi can either be on your side and protect you for as long as it remains summoned. What's it called? Or it can attack you in rage for being summoned. Or the greatest effect out of this, it can cast Wish on you 3 times before disappearing forever.
I'm gonna take the belt.
You take the belt. As the magic finishes scanning you and analyzing you, you see as from the ground, the very stone of the, the tower, this sort of like geometric shapes begin to elevate themselves and form themselves into a belt that congeals, shall we say, around your waist. It's kind of like like a WWE fucking like championship belt, like around your fucking waist. Uh, except it doesn't have the WWE symbol in the buckle of it. It has like this sort of like flaming sort of like symbol on it. Uh, gave up wish. Hey, I mean, again, there was an element of chance there. There was an element of chance there, so it was a little bit harder to come to terms with it. What's it called? It kind of like congeals around your waist, and though it was made out of stone, seemingly, when it first appeared, it doesn't feel heavy. Well, it feels heavy. It just doesn't feel as heavy as it would realistically feel if it was completely made out of stone. In fact, touching it, it seems something happened to the stone-like material. It still has the stone-like texture, but it seems to fold a little bit, almost like in a leathery-like fashion. After sort of making this item appear on you, Bouxfhades, the Lotus Witch says, I wish that more people share your enthusiasm for learning about the history of Thylea. Many have been the time where I've had to impart due punishment for their mistakes. Even now, I can't help but feel sorry for those who continue to live their lives in blissful ignorance of their world. As she says this, just kind of turning to one of the walls of the ceiling of the tower. One of the segments rather of the ceiling of the tower. You see as the sort of shimmering effect happens once again, and it seems to display, well, a very similar roaming group of centaurs that you guys saw down at the windows. It seems to be again a location somewhere in Scorpion Island, you presume. That the Lotus Witch kind of looks at for a couple of seconds before the image dissipates and disappears. You want to say something before this?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna basically agree with her and say that maybe Thylea wouldn't be in the situation it's in if more people did learn and know our history.
She looks at you and says, I am glad that you see things the way I do. Maybe one day in the future, these children will learn. Only time will tell. Now, if there are no more questions that you or your ally have,
I believe we had 3 more questions, correct?
well, you are free to ask to your heart's content.
I would you be able to either like point out on our map or show us the location of the Typhoon Island?
She sort of looks at one of the walls, one of the segments of the ceiling, and it kind of again shimmers and shifts into what you believe to be a map of the continent of Thylea and its surrounding lands. You will see as she begins to point at a specific segment of it. Just for a quick ease of reference here, I'm gonna move you back to the war map. what's it called? You would see as she begins to point at one of the islands. Give me just one moment while I just verify this so that you know that I'm not fucking you over. She will point at what in the map you see as island number 13.
Oh, I don't even see that on. Oh, there it is. Okay, got it. Sorry, I couldn't. I was looking at the wrong part.
All the way over here. Oh shit! I forgot to move you guys. Forgot to move you guys down to the actual island you're right. Well, that was just for a reference at the moment. So she will kind of that island so begins to highlight itself, I suppose, for like a better term, in the map.
Okay. I'm trying to think what else. Trying to think. I don't want to waste my questions.
Well, actually, while you think of those questions, I just want to very quickly cut to those of you who are outside. Porunga, Xandri. You two were like, oh, well, you know, we're not really feeling talking to the Lotus Witch. It's, you know, it might end up badly for lots of parties involved, huh? Let's just wait outside. And you do so. You stand there waiting at the field of flowers. Just a question: would you be still waiting right outside the tower, Porunga, or you would have gone back to the edge of the field? Porunga?
Sorry, I'll still be at the same spot.
Oh, so it's still like right there at the front of the tower. Alexandri, would you?
I'll peek inside, but I'm definitely not going upside because she's in sorrow siren bitch right now, and she knows that she can't control her anger. But she will peek inside and see like what's around. She won't touch anything. She's clearly her arms are gonna be folded across her chest, so she can obviously look like she also is not gonna touch anything. But she wants to peek around and see what this tower is alive.
Well,
like going upstairs.
You would see the the first floor if you peek inside. Like I said, there's like a veil of magic that prevents you. That from the outside it seems like the room is empty. But when you like peek your head through the door, it's like you're passing through that veil, and you see it's in the fucking daycare that is happening in the first floor. What's it called? The reason why I asked where you guys were, is because there is a. Well, you would notice that towards the edge of the fields of flowers, I begin to see movement. What you believe to be like a roaming group of centaurs, just kind of wandering around at the very perimeter of the field of flowers, like not wanting to really even get close. They seem to stand there, look in your direction for a couple of seconds, before just like backing up a little bit.
I'll bow as a sign of.
They're like I said, they're like really far away because they're at the edge of the field of flowers. You don't even believe they noticed that you bowed or anything like that. They just stand there, kind of looking.
Okay, sorry. Cassie's having a brain fart. Pillbug was what?
Bullbug was a Minotaur. Centaurs
he was a Minotaur.
Centaurs
Guitar.
are the.
Guitar was the one that we rescued from Necropolis, correct?
No, not from the Necropolis, from the Mithril Mines. The Centaurs were the ones that asked you to help their people out.
Okay. Okay, yeah, they're the ones that we went into the mines where we got the forge. Okay.
Yeah. They are.
Sorry, a lot of people here have horse body parts.
Yeah, horse people. Yeah. What's it called? Oh, were you gonna do something?
Nah, because I can't remember his name right now. I have a headache because I have an ache. So no, it's not good. They don't look hostile. They're not like they're trying to end up being hostile or anything, right? They're
You-
just
You can't exactly tell if they're carrying weapons or anything, but they're not charging into the field of flowers. Is that what you're wondering? They seem to keep their distance, like again, making sure to be nowhere near the perimeter of the, like even brushing against the fucking start of the field of flowers. Almost as if they're just curious, wondering what you're doing here, looking in your direction, like trying to figure out who you are. But if you're not, engaging with them,
actually.
then
Can I message them?
you're. I'll say you might need to like move forward, like towards them a little bit, because the message I believe is like 120 feet. You're a little bit further than that, so you need to move a little bit closer to them.
Okay, I'll move closer. I'm not going up the tower. I'll move closer
Yeah.
and send a message, and I'll say, and they're centaurs, correct?
Yes, centaurs.
Um, Greetings, fellow centaurs. Do not worry. We mean no harm.
Are you? You hear a response, in the sort of like message whisper from the centaur that you pointed at. Seems to be kind of like a female voice that answers back that says, "No, we weren't worried about you. Well, we are, but we were wondering what you were doing there. That's like really dangerous, you know?"
Get over here. This is awesome. Oh, send another message. It's dangerous. Could you tell us a little bit more about this place? You don't have to come closer.
You hear the whisper reply from message, again from the same voice, saying, Yeah, like the Lotus Witch is like really scary and all of that, like she makes people disappear and stuff, like nobody who's entered that place has come out.
I sent another message. Do you think they're being killed? Should we be worried about our comrades who have gone up the wall? I mean, up the stairs?
Whoa, that's like a good question, but I don't know. Like you're still brave though. Respect for even going close to the tower.
Oh, well, message again. Well, thank you for letting us know that. If we don't see our friends within the next couple of minutes, we'll go in search of them.
All right, peace.
Message. Keys? Take care. Ta-ta for now.
You see as they like you don't hear what they say among each other, but you do see them making like gestures, arm gestures at each other, and then they begin to start taking their leave from the nearby vicinity. What's it called? While this is happening, back to you, Bouxfhades and Drakgar. Did you come up with the other questions you wanted to ask the Lotus Witch, or not?
I actually did, and I'm going to say I only have 2 more questions if you'll let me ask them, humbly. And then we'll leave you with these.
Then ask, and an answer shall be given.
My first question is, do you possibly know the location of the dragon eggs?
The location of the what?
Of the dragon eggs.
The dragon eggs.
Good,
I trust that you ask about the eggs that were supposedly from Balmithria's own brood. Is this correct?
Yes.
They scattered to the winds, taken from their respective places by none other than the hands of the Titans. They were delivered to, shall we say, hands that they trust. It is true. Balmithria and the other dragons that came with her to this land had a hand in the propagation of dragonkind. But not all of them. Some, like the eggs that you look for, were from other dragons whose names have been lost to history. These eggs were taken, and as we speak, even now, they are being nurtured into, shall we say, dark paths. They are... I know of 2 of them that are within the Cerulean Gulf. The others have been hidden from my sight by magic's most powerful.
We would like to protect the eggs from any dark forces, is the reason I asked.
Then you are best starting off searching the many islands of the Cerulean Gulf. With any luck, should the eggs have not traded hands already, you will find them. But be
Okay.
warned, dragons are strange beings. Some believe that they are born with an innate attachment to a particular, shall we say, alignment. But even that nature can be changed, with time and effort. The more they are exposed to a particular behavior, the more they will adapt it into their own. Even as eggs, this remains true.
Well, we really appreciate the insight. We can recover them before they're used for evil deeds. And then my final question, we have a party member who has unfortunately picked up, let's say, an unwanted guest in the bed, one that you may know very well. And we were hoping you may know how to get rid of him.
She looks at you and says, "You ask of me to erase the mistakes of one of your allies? To give them a free exit out of the path that they've chosen?"
More, we're concerned that they may unwillingly be taken over by said person and destroy our chances of saving Thalia.
If that is to happen, then it is entirely your ally's fault for falling for such machinations. You must understand, young one, that we cannot save people from themselves.
That's fair.
Your ally has chosen this path, and now they must live with the consequences. If you allow them to walk away from that decision with no risk, then nothing is gained and nothing is lost.
Well, I appreciate your insight, and we will leave you in peace. Thank you for helping me.
Yes, you will. Now, return to the world outside. As she kinda flares up her wings, kind of extending them up to the sides, and suddenly you feel, both you, Bouxfhades and Drakgar, feel space bending around you two. Everything becomes kind of wobbly and hard to discern until you feel yourself being shifted somewhere else. When you come to, you are now standing at the edge of the field of flowers, outside of the tower. In fact, Sandri and Porunga, you two would, would look around and notice that two more humanoid figures appear in the perimeter of the field of flowers, whereas they weren't there before.
Um, I would jump up and down and wave and yell, "Pump out my sword!" as loud as I can.
Xandria and Porunga, you hear something about a word. A word with who?
Grab some popcorn? Did you hear that correctly, Porunga?
I start making swinging
Yeah,
motions.
I heard of something, but I couldn't really make it out.
Popcorn. I look inside the building. Popcorn. Oh, there's his sword. Sword. He said sword. Sword. I got it. I mean, I don't
Okay.
got it. It's too heavy for me to carry. I'm gonna need you to drag it.
Porunga
My
also-
strength is -1.
Yeah, also has negatives.
Porunga and I both drag the sword across the field.
Both are grabbing
yeah,
like one
both
side
of
of the
us.
hilt.
You both grab the sword and walk across a field of flowers. Again, in like blinking, literal blink of an eye, you cover the distance without even feeling it. In fact,
Instantly drop the sword.
from Drakgar's and Bouxfhades' perspective, it's kind of like a Schrodinger situation, where like you see them at the tower, but then when you blink, you see them closer, but also not closer, until you kind of like fucking have like a double take, and now Porunga and Alexander are standing in front of you.
I grab my sword from them and say, "Sorry, guys, I won't leave my sword next time."
Yes, please. I'm over here like dying of asthma.
Fucking, as you guys are now all at the edge of the field of flowers, you once again see like that group of centaurs sort of like come by. This time in a slightly larger number than what they were before. It seems almost as if like they went to go grab more of their friends, to let them know people were here. You see as this the person leading them appears to be this female centaur that looks like she has like really long hair with flowers sort of like around her, the length of her hair. She looks at you guys, what's it called, and says, "Yo, you just like appear out of nowhere from the tower. That's so cool. I've never seen anyone do that."
Oh,
Oh my god.
hello there. Yeah. Earlier we were talking to one of you. Sorry, I do not quite know which one of you I was speaking to earlier through my magical message. You guys.
That was me. That was me. She kind of raises her arm.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I would like to inform you that my friends, they actually did make it out of the tower. So,
She turns.
that's good news.
She turns around to the other centaurs, which, by the way, none of all the centaurs don't look like there are no elders amongst their crew. The oldest one you see, some of the centaurs look like it's probably roughly like mid-20s, like mid to late 20s, somewhere among that margin. What's it called? She looks over at the. She looks over at the centaurs and says, "You hear that, guys? They came out of the tower. They They were in there. They talked to the witch. And the other centaurs are like, ah, that's pretty cool. You know, all of them kind of like begin to say stuff such as awesome, word, radical. You know, they use this very strange language that some of you may not be familiar with. What's it called? The you know, female centaur at the front of the crew says, "Yo, you should like hang out or something, you know, back at our village. We have like drinks and stuff, and you know, you can meet my brother. He's pretty cool. He's like our leader and things. Like his name."
Does she seem like she's trying to be like sneaky, like
You
she's
can
so bad, or she just generally be?
you can roll an insight check if you want.
Can I do that as well?
Let me switch to a different type of ambience because you're no longer the night. Yeah, you can roll me an insight if you wish. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. This is better. So yeah, even with that lowest 5 there, Bouxfhades, Exandria and Drakgar, you always all believe that they are being legitimate about this. You know, like there's no ill will or ulterior motive that you can detect in their tone of voices. You know, not just from her, but like the other centaurs are all like nodding along, like, "Yeah, bros, come over and join us."
Sure, I don't think a drink would hurt, or at least not me.
The rest of you guys say anything?
Yeah, I'll join.
I
Sure,
could definitely.
I'll join them, but I will not drink. I'll just say I'm not thirsty.
She fucking looks at Drakgar and says, "You sound like you smoke already, dude." So you guys follow the centaurs as she, you know, right as before she's turning around, she says, "Oh, I forgot. Man, I always forget about this when meeting new people. Name's Nessa, by the way. Nice to meet you."
Nice to meet you, Nessa. My name's Exandria.
She
You're very beautiful, by the way. Have you lived here always?
Yes, we've all always lived here. Isn't that right, guys? And she kind of looks over at the other crew, and they all again sort of like nod and do like affirming sounds. I guess is the best way I can say it. She says, come on, follow us. We'll go slow so that we don't leave you behind, but not too slow. Otherwise, you know, them scorpions appear, and it all just becomes a mess. And yeah, we should just go. You like my brother? He's really cool. His name is Folon. He just returned from a journey from a trip back at the you know, at the big mainland place thingy.
Oh,
I know.
I'm totally down. I'm totally down. What was your brother's name again?
Folon. Yeah, weird name, right?
Yeah, you guys have some very unique names. They're super pretty.
Ah, thank you. We came up with them ourselves. Uh, you guys fucking begin to travel with these centaurs until you reach well, what you believe to be their village. Just to put
They're
into
putting
perspective.
Exandria in a good mood. She needs this.
Hey, what do you say?
They're putting Exandria in a good mood. She needs this.
What's it called? I mean, hey, you know, it's probably about to get better once you see what they have on them. What's it called? This, to put into perspective, this tribe or village or whatever you may wish to call it, is actually within one of the thicker foliage of the island. A little bit more deeper into the tree line, to the point where at some points it kind of becomes difficult to navigate. Even the centaurs have to kind of like squeeze through in between a couple of trees and stuff to get into like a proper path, which you would imagine is enough of a deterrent to keep some of these scorpions away. eventually, you arrive at this place. You see as what's it called? You'll be entering from around here. You can place yourselves down if you wish. Oh shit! I just realized I spawned pretty close to this. You see as Nessa kind of is welcomed very warmly by the by the centaurs that were already here, as well as the other centaurs that were traveling with her. She says, "All right, everybody, clear the way. Let my brother know to open up a couple of kegs. We have some visitors." As the other centaurs are like, "Yeah, right on." What's it called? She kind of gestures for you guys to follow close behind her, as she basically takes you to like the middle of the village. She says, "Oh, you're gonna love it here. We have enough places to have you guys stay at for the night if you want. We have some drinks, wine, beer from some nice merchants that visited us the other day. More wine from those, monk people that come to train at this island ever so often. And our secret. We have a secret thing that we can give you guys, but that's only for special occasions. Shh. Wait, what did you say?
Xavier's like, ooh, I love secrets.
Yeah, but that's for later. Shh. She kind of leads you all the way to the middle of the village. You see, she says, "Brother man, we have some visitors." You see as Folon, the dude bro centaur that you guys met back at the mainland of Thylea. It kind of turns around.
Awesome.
Kind of turns around and says, "Wait, visitors, what are you? Oh shit, dudes! You guys are back!"
Oh, I thought we would never run into you again. How's it been?
Well, it is what it is. Life kind of gets me down sometimes, but I made it back home. I had to hitch a ride on on this one ship that passed by. There were like monk dudes or whatever. There was like a red dragon dude with them. Helped me get back home. They were really chill about the whole thing, though. But you guys, how do you guys make it back? Did you like swim all the way from the land or whatever? That'd be pretty cool if you did, though. That'd be very radical.
No, we actually have this really big ship now. It's a really long story. We could totally tell you about it over drinks.
Whoa, for real, sis? Just how much has happened since we last saw? Oh, you know what? Hold on.
No idea. Actually, we're kind of mourning. We just lost 2 of our close comrades. So.
Oh man, that sucks.
Your face, though, has definitely brightened my day, though.
Oh man, that really sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened. You know what? Hold on. We have to make things right. Everybody. He kind of shouts to the rest of the village, and says, "All right, everybody. Hey, these people are my friends. All right, They're currently going through a rough patch, but be as welcoming as you can to them. You right? Treat them as one of your own. All right, bros and dudettes. All right. So I want somebody grab the kegs. Let's all sit around the campfire. Let's get this party started." He says as the other centaurs seem to reciprocate the hype, I guess, if you want to call it that, for him. He looks at the rest of you guys and says, "Ooh, all right, whoa, dude, I don't know you. Are you friends with my friends?" Kind of looks at you, Bouxfhades.
Oh,
I say
yeah, he's.
I met them in
Hold on,
the main city.
I have like 3 people to talk at the same time. One at a time. Okay, or none of them.
Now,
Go
nobody's
ahead.
talking. Okay, I'll say
think
he's
all
with
of us
us.
are ready to play rock paper scissors to see who went first. Right there, we're like, who's talking?
Oh, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, they picked me up along the way. I guess after they met you.
Alright, yeah, like the drifter, you certainly look the kind, lone swordsman, and stuff like that, right, bro?
Yeah, I'm just a future man.
I look over at Bo and he literally looks like a knight in shining armor. And I'm like, drifter.
Oh man, he kinda like does like that 2 punches to the chest. Respect, bro. That'd be the lifetime. One time. He looks over you, Drakgar, and says, "Oh, my battle bro. Hey, how have you been doing since last time? The jaw feeling all right?" He kind of does like a little sort of like a shadow boxing, sort of like a gesture.
Be good. You want a rematch for old time's sake?
I would love that, bro, but right now, let us treat you to some of our local specialties. Me and my people here. By the way, yeah, that's my sister right there. You probably know her already, though. I'm the handsome one, of the siblings, though. It looks like.
I think you're both very charming looking.
Listen to this one. You don't need to flatter us, though. You're already our friends. He looks over at Porunga and says, "And you, Lister Boy, my man, what happened? Doing more of that?" She kind of does like Jack Sparrow-esque sort of like hand movements to kind of like simulate like magic being thrown around.
Oh, Mateus is actually working at Mitros right now.
No.
On a very important project.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I was starting to think that someone was missing. Same with Bull Dude.
Yeah.
Juno.
I'm not quite sure what happened to him. He just decided to part ways. We rescued a bunch of minotaurs back in Mitros. Like, well, unfortunately, we had to pay for them, but then we like set them free as soon as we walked outside the gates.
Sounds pretty dark to that. That sounds pretty dark.
It was pretty dark. It was not fun, but I couldn't stand to see them locked up in cages. I wanted them to go back home to their family. So shortly after that, he decided to be with us anymore and all parted his ways.
Oh man, well that sucks. But like at least you guys are sticking together, right? I mean that has got to count for something,
Yeah. Yeah.
He does look at Porunga and says, no, I wanted to, are you also, still doing your magic stuff? Because I remember there being multiple magic people with you. Do you also do magic and stuff?
Oh yeah, I do.
That's what's up. You all heard it here, folks. These people do magic and stuff. He looks over at the other centaurs who, again, at this point, you see some of them reach into their tents and shacks and the like, kind of pulling out barrels upon barrels of, various drinks. You see a Svolon then looks over at you guys and says in a more sort of quiet tone of voice, "Oh, I'm not sure my sister told you yet, but we have some really good stuff later on planned for the night. Think of it as a welcome gift for you guys. If you're interested in it, that is."
Of course. I'm gonna look at the group and I'll be like, it's been a while since we've been in a situation that's lighthearted and not grave and depressing. Would you guys be okay if we spent the night here?
I'm cool with it.
Okay with it if you make sure that Derek is behaving on the ship alone.
Sure, I'll send my dad a message.
Do you cast sending?
Cindy. Hey, Dad, how's babysitting the douchebag? Oh, I mean Derek.
Everything's going all right here, my child. Any report on what happened over there?
I'll use another singing spell. Yeah, actually it went pretty well. We ran into a friend. Hold on, wait a sec. Cassie lost count of words. Yeah, da. We're going to spend the night in their encampment, learn some more details. We'll return tomorrow. Love ya.
He answers to that second sending by saying, "Alright, I will let the people here in the ship know. If your friend wishes to join you, well, I suppose we'll make sure that he gets there safely. Oh, and, the priest is still here, keeping an eye on him."
All right. I don't send anything back. That was fine for me.
Okay.
And then I look at Xandri and I say, so we need to have a conversation later about what happened in the tower.
What happened in the tower? Yeah, we could talk about that on the boat. Tonight though.
Oh, or better yet, though, you can tell us what happened in the tower here in the circle. You know, we never know what happens over there with the witch, though. It'll be like a learning experience for everybody.
Oh, well, maybe they can tell you how to get out of the tower. Would that help?
He kind of thinks for a moment. Hey, whatever you want, though, you know. Yes, if it's an interesting story, we want to hear it, don't we, everybody? As, you know, the other center's gonna, at this point, already, you know, fucking chugging drinks. They, you know, begin to shout and, cheer. Folon says, "Alright, you know, over here, we'll give these people some drinks, alright?" As he kinda gestures to some of the centaurs. They begin to gather around the central sort of like campfire. Not everybody in the village does, but you know, most people do. What's it called? Did you guys join them around the campfire?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because
Okay.
this is definitely gonna put her back in a good mood and out of her sorrow siren mood.
I mean, we'll see. So you guys begin.
Unless they kill us.
I mean, hey. You guys begin to what's it called? Begin to well, gather around, sit down by the rather large sort of bonfire that has been you know, prepared, I guess, for this occasion. You are handed, if you want, what's it called? Mugs, sort of handmade mugs of sorts of, well, various beverages, ranging from ale to beer to wine. You know, they actually have a surprising variety of drinks here. You wouldn't really expect that from, you know, random band of centaurs in the forest, but they do. In fact, some of the drinks that they begin to hand out are, well, of some degree of resemblance to the strange sort of like drink that you were being handed by the centaurs in the other tribe back at the mainland. You know, the little sort of like corn-based sort of like drink of sorts. What's it called? While, you know, when you guys begin to kind of sit around here and what have you, Folon looks at you guys and says, all right, now, tell us all the deets, what has happened throughout your adventure, you know, up to and including this, you know. I know you said you're, you know, currently in the process of mourning and stuff, but, well, all of us here, as I would like to believe, we all respect and understand that, isn't that right? The centaurs just kind of nod along. Folon says, now, you know, let's let this be a form of healing process, you know, for our friends here. Air out your pain, air out your joys. share with us the story of your life, and with the stars as our witness, make sure that, well, we share in both the joys and pains in your life, so that you know you're not alone. Am I right?
I will raise my glass to that. And as I raise my glass, I'm going to be like, full on. I kind of feel like we've come full circle. If I do recall correctly, the first time we ran into you, you were actually on a long run across the country because a friend of yours passed away as well, right?
When you say this, you see as Nessa kind of does like this, like look towards Folon. Folon says, "Yeah, yeah, my battle brother. He died in the battle. I always thought that was how gonna happen. I just didn't think that it would happen. Like that. I thought I was gonna be the one going first."
Well, then let this be for our fallen friends and your fallen friend. Maybe it was meant to be that we'd always enter each other's lives when we need a smile.
Man, boy, did I got a big smile when I saw all of you. I hope you all did too.
I definitely did.
Yeah! As he kind of like raises his own mug and begins to fucking down it in one go. What's it called? All the other centaurs follow suit eventually, as they, all engage in, well, merrymaking, shall we say. Just kind of hanging around, listening to you. If you do decide to actually share your story, some are playing music in the background. Not the music that is currently playing right now through the bot, but more sort of like flute, like air instruments of sorts that they seem to have fashioned out of, branches and the like. Do you guys share your travels with Folon and his people? Hello?
I tell them about the games that we did where I met everybody in Mitros.
Okay. You share about the games. You share about that time where you stood tall in front of the, of the so-called merciless in the middle of all the city of Mitros to see. How you took him down a notch on a man-to-man, one-on-one fight. How you made it sure that no more brutality would take place, like that so-called ritual battle against the Minotaur that King Acastus tried to force you into. And as you guys, share your, your stories, as you guys begin to, well, just kind of hang around, taking this downtime where, your life is not at stake. You are not out there in the sea where, a whole variety of things can happen. When you have this pocket of safety in an otherwise treacherous and unforgiving journey. That is where we'll end the session for today. I mean, hey, be like that sometimes.
I just want to point out that Xergy would have told them everything that happened after he left up until this point.
It's gonna
Should
be
she is drunk. She would have spilled the beans.
It's a long story. During which, could you make me a performance check, actually? Before we wrap things up, could you make me a performance check real quick?
I swear I should have been a bard. Why am I the healer? Can I guidance myself on this?
Sure.
Oh, I clicked twice.
Well, roll me the d4 for the guidance. I'll say, you get across a certain level of gravitas on of the of the nature of your story. You don't make it really sound like that grandiose. It's more, it comes across less as a, all right, sit down, listen to the tale of such and such, and more as a like casual-ish conversation where you're just kind of, it's like those types of conversations you have with your buddies when you're just kind of like, drinking after a while of not seeing them, and you just kind of begin to delve into life stuff, I guess, mid gathering. What's it called? You do still, however, gain a full attention of the centaurs that are around. As they intently listen to all of your stories of the past, of what happened, after you parted ways with Folon. And with that, now we're gonna end the session. You guys, well, Bouxfhades, you got yourself your belt of giant strength. Did you add it to your inventory, or do you need me to add it to your inventory?
I would love for you to do it for me because I have no idea.
Well, mind you, this is an item that requires attunement, meaning that if you're already attuned to 3 items, you can't actually use this.
Is the Gem of Brightness an item that had to be attuned?
Let me double check. Gem of Brightness. Gem of Brightness. It does not require attunement.
So then the only thing I have is the Crown of Laurels that I'm attuned to currently.
Correct. Yeah, the Crown of Laurels. Meaning that you can attune to the the belt of fire giant strength.
Hear me out. Wizzy Lizzy.
No. Now I want you to take a look at your fucking strength score in your sheet and at your weapons now.
Oh my god.
So yeah, let me just do a
I'm a
quick.
monster.
So you now have a plus 11 to hit,
Holy shit.
and a plus 7 to the damage roll of your weapon.
I'm a monster. Oh.
Let's test out how the Great Weapon Master version of that would look like. Jesus.
Holy.
Hey.
So yeah, the answer is you are now a strong boy. Well, mind you, you're not attuned to it yet. You'll say, however, the time that you spend, around the centaurs, constitutes as a short rest for the purposes of attuning to the item.
Okay.
What's it called? But yeah, next session we'll pick up right here where we left off, as you guys have a night of storytelling to be done with the centaurs. What's it called? And don't worry, things are gonna get a little bit interesting, I believe. If things play out the way that I believe they're gonna play out. Give me one. I need to move you guys back to the title screen.
We're so happy because this is gonna put Xandri back in a good mood, and then my flying will be back, and I can stop being a bitch.
But there we go. Oh yeah, I need to end our recording. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, please continue doing so. As you may have noticed, I switched the layout. I am now using Edge for the, Microsoft Edge for the things, because I'm trying to find a browser that doesn't lag my computer to shit. What's it called? Maybe next time I'll try Opera GX and see how that works. But this has been it for this session, and we will see you guys in the next one.